Hello and welcome to Jakarta for the IFSC Olympic qualifier. One of our 8 athletes tonight will be taking home an Olympic ticket. The pressure is high and the humidity, trust me, is sweltering here in the middle of the city. I'm joined by Malaysian team coach Safwan. Safwan, first of all, thank you so much for joining me here today. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, Matt.
It's lovely for you to be here, and it's great to have a coach in the commentary box because you're going to be able to give us some insights into what the athletes might be thinking out there on the mats and in the isolation. Now, Safwan, I talked about the heat. Let's just get that out of the way quickly. It's very sweaty here today.
Yeah, it's pretty hot today.
It really is. The temperature, although isn't too bad, it's the humidity that is a factor for sure. So the athletes, of course, will all be in the same position. They'll all be dealing with the same holds. Coach, how are you keeping those athletes cool in this situation?
Actually, in the isolation warm-up area, it's quite cold. It's fully aircon. There's plenty of drinks and food and ice for everyone. So inside there, we are kept in a good temperature, actually, before we start climbing. But as soon as you go out, you feel the heat, you feel the humidity straight away. So sometimes it's a bit overwhelming as well. I think on the day of qualifying, I can see as soon as the athletes go out, their face turn red. It was quite hot.
I've seen that as well. You are completely right, yeah. Well, that is what the athletes are having to deal with. Our crowd is out there, of course, in the auditorium. They've got sun hats, they've got umbrellas, they're dealing with it. And psych here in the stadium is high. So, this is the observation period that happened earlier on, just before the broadcast started. And Safwan, with each other, which is always a strange one if you're watching this as an outsider.
Yep. But I think it's the climbing event is more of you battling yourself. It's not really you trying to beat the next person. So sharing beta is just the camaraderie between countrymen and even friends. Because even for us, you see Korea and Japan, they're all talking to each other because they're all good friends in the climbing world actually.
Yeah, and teammates, of course.
Yes, teammates, of course, yes.
Because we've got some Japanese athletes out there together. 3 Japanese athletes in this final. Futaba Ito, she qualified in first position after, frankly, an astounding Boulder round.
Yes, she has been on fire this week.
It was incredible.
Yes.
99.7 was her Boulder score, which I don't think anyone would have predicted necessarily before.
She was the only one that topped women's 2 in semifinals yesterday, which was amazing.
It really was, and from that she built on Jain Kim, the legend with the yellow bow in the middle. Nano Hakume, young Japanese athlete coming up, and what a force she is. Yun Tong Zhang, another Chinese athlete, really making a mark on this competition. And then our 2 past Olympians, Shen So and Miho Nanaka, and of course Futaba Ito in the end, who had that incredible round. Now, Safwan, we saw a shot of Jain Kim there.
Yep.
We have a real range here of ages and experiences.
Yes, correct.
Because Sukma, 19,
yeah.
She was 103rd in Bern, and she's up against someone like Miho Nanaka or Jain Kim, who's so experienced, and that's got to be tough for her out there.
Yeah, she's definitely the oldest competitor out there, but I think she's an inspiration for everyone, not just being the oldest, but also being a mother as well. I think that's huge inspiration for her daughter as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think she is an underdog. Anything can happen in climbing, and that's what's so exciting.
In climbing, anything can happen. A little foot slip can make something a little bit more exciting for the audience to watch.
Exactly. Well, we'll have to wait and see, and there are some slippy boulders out there. In fact, the boulder behind Miho and Futaba there has no handholds that I could see.
Yeah. So I read that as quite a slow coordination. As they catch the volume, they'll press the next blue one as well.
Well, we'll see how those athletes work it out. Well, the formalities are done. They leave the stage. And this is a good opportunity to let you guys know what is happening for the rest of the day. So, the boulder and lead together, the kind of combined format, takes place over 2 competitions. This is the Boulder round, as you can see, and the wall ranges from a variety of degrees. 0 degrees on the slab on the left, all the way into 42, 40 points. And in each boulder, there's a 5-point scoring zone and a 10-point scoring zone. The athletes will get minus 0.1 for every attempt to that scoring zone until they get it and their score is locked in. Now, don't worry if that sounds complicated. Myself and Safwan will be going through all of the rules as they come up. But remember, it's only half of the story. After Boulder, we go away, we have a little coffee break, we perhaps find some more air conditioning, and then we hit the lead wall where there's another 100 points available. I will be going through those rules again, and if you've just switched on and missed that, don't worry, we'll keep you updated. But all the talking is pretty much done now. We are ready. One of these 8 women will be walking away with a ginormous Olympic ticket. And I say ginormous because it literally is a big ticket. They've got it backstage, I've seen it.
Yeah. Excited to see who's going to win today. Very excited.
I am too, because
Yes.
they've got the most experience, they've
Correct.
been there before. However, Futabarito,
Has been fire this week.
it is outrageous.
Yes.
I'm fascinated to see if she can carry that on. I was talking to her coach, Benny, last night in the hotel, and he was just saying, look, you know, she's made so many finals, she hasn't podiumed, mentally she's been struggling. Something changed when she latched that second boulder yesterday, and I think it might have just switched something in her head. Perhaps, we'll have to wait.
Perhaps. Let's hope so. Let's see what happens today.
Okay, right. Well, look, while we got a moment here, talk to me about Team Malaysia, because it was good to see your 2 young athletes competing yesterday.
Oh, so this is actually our first full squad competition for a very, very long time. So the last time Malaysia brought a full squad was in Jakarta and Palembang for Asian Games 2018. So this time we brought 3 male and 3 female as well to World Youth Championship in Korea earlier this year, and then also they went to Asian Youth Championship in Chongqing earlier this year as well.
So really new to this sport.
Yes, so for all of them, for most of them, it's like their first year in IFSC. For some of them, it's their first ever IFSC competition. Wow. So it's really big exposure for them.
That is incredible. And, you know, they haven't made it through the finals, but that experience they will build on for the future.
Yes, and having 1 male and 1 female in semi, it's a big win for me, like huge win for me.
That's massive. Well, good luck to the Malaysian climbing team. Well, I would expect an invite to Malaysia at some point.
Yeah, hopefully we get a chance to host a World Cup, maybe one day. The last time we hosted one was in 2015. We hosted the Asian Youth Championship.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, certainly, if it happens anyway. Any chance to travel somewhere new for me, I'm down with. Well, look, we're having a little look at the boulder. I did ask if it was possible to do it the other way, and they sort of shook their head. But whenever they do that, I tend to take it with a pinch of salt, because these athletes do crazy things.
Yes, they do.
Well, Sugma runs out. She's 19. She is, oh, you look at her results and you think, wow, 103rd, 104th in Bern. I think I said 103rd earlier. So an athlete who is down the order in terms of the world stage, has made it this far. Performance of a lifetime, and the Jakartan crowd, the Indonesian crowd, went crazy. And she starts things off pressing up into that volume. And Safwan, perhaps a little bit of a turn needed here in order to get into that 5 zone.
Yeah, correct. It's like a 180 turn, and they catch the, I think it's a pocket, I'm not really sure, on the other side of the volume.
Yeah, it is a pretty deep pocket in there, but it's the angle of it.
Yeah, and you can't see it as well.
Yeah,
So
it might take the athletes just a few moments to get used to this.
Yes, for sure.
This boulder. I remember it's boulder 1 as well, and I'm not sure I'd want to be facing this crowd on the first boulder of the
But I think for finals, like the timer will wait until you're there.
Yes, exactly.
I think if you watch later, maybe some of the Japanese climbers, they will just casually walk.
Yeah, much better.
Yeah.
I've said this before. Apparently, it's part of map bingo, which I say similar things, but it still blows my mind. Well, Jilu squats down in that position, has a little look round the corner, and she's trying to do this more statically, turns to face the wall, which is pretty hard, what she's attempting here.
Oh, she's trying to pogo.
When you say pogo,
So-
describe what that means.
Okay, so if you notice just now, her right leg, she relaxed a bit and she swing as if like trying to kick a ball in the air. So that helps create momentum for her to jump. But I think because of the angle of the ball as well and the position that the body is in, it's hard to generate momentum.
Yeah, I think it looks like the better position until you get set to jump.
Yes, I think you just have to turn from facing the crowd and just like fully commit and just turn 180.
Well, she got close, so she will try it again, as expected. That's the pogo you were talking
Oh,
about.
there we go.
She does make it work.
Yep.
Well, points on the board, and there's a potential little knee bar in there, but
Yep, she's getting a knee bar in there. It doesn't look comfortable, but I think it helps.
yeah, although she's going to be very low going to this next sloper with that knee bar. I think she's going to have to flick it out. We'll see. Maybe she'll span it. Yeah, she does drop it. I think it's a bit of a red herring that. It just set her up, because to make that move, it's a full span on it.
Yes, so I think like the knee bar is something like a checkmate. It's comfortable to get there, but it's very hard to get out. So like then she had to release, but then she's already like wasting some energy for the next move.
I love that. A checkmate. That's brilliant. I'm
Yeah.
stealing that for the future.
No, because as a setter myself, I like to put competitors in like checkmate positions. When they get there, it's very hard to get out.
This is why I have co-commentators. Basically, you tell me the good things to say, and then it makes me look good later on when I nick it. Well, 2 minutes are on the clock, and she's got points on the board, so she will jump into first position temporarily. Of course, a long, long way to go in this final. She just takes a moment to rest, cool herself down as much as she can. She will attempt this again, although it is a pretty hard way of doing this. Gets herself set, pogos that leg, hits the right hand and holds the swing well. Uses the knee bar again. I think she just uses that as a shake, perhaps?
Maybe to readjust the right hand in the pocket.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that left, perhaps, as well. She's trying to go as high on the volume as possible to be right underneath the hold.
Yeah, but I feel like that volume is dual text where her thumb is on. So it's like not that much to generate force to go out for the next sloper.
She's trying to heel hook as well.
Ooh.
Makes it
It
work.
works.
Well, it's been a bit of a chess game. Forget the checkmate. This is working it out slowly. Left foot on nothing, though. She's got to throw for another sloper. That's the 10 zone. And Safwan, the points won't be awarded for that 10.
No, she just like barely slapped it. So to be awarded the point, you need to make use of the hole, basically. So once you grab it, you must make some sort of movement. So make some hip movement, then you will be awarded the points.
Yeah, that is the rules. All right, so Jilu once more with 28 seconds to go. Likely to be her last attempt at this. The pogo looks good now.
And now the first move is like comfortable for her already.
She's going for the heel again. It works. She forgets that knee bar, which I'm glad. I think it was the wrong way to do it. Gets the left foot.
Oh, the left heel is good. Oh.
Yeah, it was good, but she couldn't make it work. So that's points on the board for Jilu, but only 5, minus those attempts. Let me just have a little look on my scoring app here.
It took her 3 or 4 attempts or something.
Yeah, I'm just pulling it up. See, I'm putting my money where my mouth is here. I tell you, people should download this app. I now am. So she's been awarded 4.9 because it only took 2 attempts to get to that zone.
Okay.
And then it's locked in for the score.
Yep.
So Jilu leads the way, 4.9 on the boards. Next up, Jane Kim. And for someone like Jane Kim,
Look, she's casually walking. Oh,
come on, Jane. Like
she started casually walking just now.
She was going to prove me right for a second, and she hasn't now. For Jane Kim, for me, I think her Boulder round is just about keeping in touch.
Yes.
She's not going to win it, necessarily, but she needs to give herself less to do on the lead wall.
Yeah, because her lead performance is amazing. Yesterday, she moved so flawlessly on the wall, actually.
All right, well, let's see if she can keep in touch. She'll want some zones along the way. And She did have a pretty good boulder round. She was just under the 50s in the semis. So I'm not saying she's a bad bowler. I mean, she would destroy 90% of the population on any given day.
For sure, for sure.
But lead is more of her speciality, and we saw that yesterday. She has another look. Keeping calm out there as she always seems to. I really admire that as a characteristic.
Yeah, she's always like calm, composed, and always smiling.
So she gets set up different without that pogo with the right leg. Now she might get set up for it, but she comes down before. But a little nod to herself.
Yeah, but you can see her face expressions when she was standing. It's not a comfortable position to be in.
I remember Safwan said 40-odd degrees there on the end of the wall. Pushes you backwards, and the volumes add another 3D element to it. Slowly stands up, presses into the blue volume. It's a long way to go.
Oh, she commits to the left hand.
See, that's smart, I think, from her, because with 2 minutes 15 to go, you might as well throw in a different way of doing it.
Experiment a bit, see what works for your body.
Let's see if she has another go at that, or if she sticks with the right hand method. That's all she's standing on. Now rotates to face the wall. Yeah, I think that left hand, I mean, I was thinking of a sort of, it feels like a wrist breaky move to hold it like that.
But just now, as soon as she fell just now, she gave herself a little nod. I think she understands the body movement that she needs to do to execute the move.
So with 1 minute 30 seconds on the clock. Right hand and a swing,
almost,
that was closer.
Almost.
All right, so minute 15, Jian Kim is latched the hold for the first time, but as we know, the top of this boulder probably harder than the beginning.
Yeah, for sure.
So Jian with a big breath there as she pulls on once again, keeping calm despite the heat as she stands up, twists. She got close before, 54 seconds. Can she latch it this time?
Oh, there we go, there we go.
Beautiful. But now she needs to do this tricky maneuver, and I wonder if she gets sucked into this knee bar trap. Resting like a lead climber on the boulder.
Now that cheetah pocket looks quite comfortable for her.
Yeah, she seems happy with it and managed to adjust. And the heel slipped there, but gets a toe in. Big move up, but she hasn't got the height. We saw Jilu really commit to that heel, trust it fully, and as does Jian Kim there. 19 seconds though, keep an eye on that time, it's ticking down. That's the heel as she locks it in underneath.
Almost.
So as a setting for you, the boulder like this, the athletes, are they approaching it in the way you'd expect them to?
Yes, I think so. Because the way I read the boulder is probably similar to how the setter have it in mind, like what they intend for the climbers to climb. And so far, everybody's been climbing exactly the same way, except for Zilulu, which just did the pogo, which I don't think it's like any easier or harder. It's about the same difficulty of the movement.
So two different methods, two different ways of latching that hold. Let's see if we have a third one. Yano Hakume comes onto the stage. I always notice the weird things, but that chalk bag is awesome.
So colourful.
It really is. I want one of them. Yeah, the athletes are allowed to bring chalk onto the stage. They're allowed to bring a bag as well with extra shoes. I think it's just
definitely one of the favorites in this event as well, as she completed many of her
straight in.
boulders.
You can see she wants to do this a little bit more statically.
So casual, very casual. Too casual, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right. She was relaxed once she hit that pocket, lost the tension.
After the qualification round, she is
So, I don't know, Hakume with a good first move there. A little bit taller than some of the athletes, and maybe that's helping her with this move, perhaps. Although scrunching up into that first position would be hard.
Yeah, I think height doesn't really help you that much for this move. And I think she's also, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, she's the youngest for the out of the 3 Japanese.
Yeah, I'm just going to, yeah, that's a good question. I think she is, yeah, because I remember her coming in through that youth scene and building on it. And
Yes.
she's kind of gone from a irregular finalist and semi-finalist into someone we almost expect to see out there. On the
Correct.
Last September.
So she goes again. Yeah, she is just 19, so the youngest out there has that press. And better this time, a little less casual there.
But still pretty casual, I would say.
Yeah, she looks relaxed, doesn't she? Really flowing at the moment. She hasn't tried that heel. She's going for the big span and hits it. This is a good performance early on. Trying to find a hook for that left toe. Left heel that pops.
Still plenty of time for them.
With 2 minutes 10 on the clock, this is the best performance so far that we've seen on this early on.
Yeah, out of everyone so far, Nonoha Kume has been climbing
Earlier April
brilliantly.
of this year.
But one thing to note also in this weather, the slopers feel a lot worse than what they will feel if it's in a climbing gym.
Yeah, people talk about friction and cold weather a lot, and we see pictures, especially if you are into outdoor climbing. You know, and I know this as well. You know, when it's cold or snowy, even sometimes you can
Yep.
stick to the most outrageous things.
Correct. So like cold weather makes friction better. So when you stick to slopers, it feels better to pull. So like right now in this heat and this humidity, so the slopers will feel a little bit worse than what you would find it, let's say if it was at night, for example, when it was cooler.
Yeah, and that is what they have to deal with their double chalk bags for Nonoha Kume. She's using that big one just to coat her hands, and then the one on her mid-climb, which is helpful, because that pocket, once you get it in the correct position, is a pretty good hold.
Yes, I think it's quite comfortable for their level at least.
Yeah, that is always worth remembering, actually. It's a good point. We're talking, you know, there are levels to this game. If it was me out there, I think I would be desperate on it, but Nonoha Kume is making it look good. Right, this move, she cruised before, used her span nicely. Left foot on the purple, right on the blue, up to the sloper. Makes it stick. She'll want to do minimal adjustment on this.
The left heel doesn't look very comfortable actually.
She's changed it to a toe now.
Yeah.
I think you have to try to find a way to make that heel work. With the toe, you're being pushed back a little bit, perhaps.
But I think because of the wall angle as well. So like your leg is like stuck underneath the volume, so it's at a very awkward angle.
Yeah, it is awkward. She does call it a day. So no high zone, no top, but that vital low zone, which is starting to become important before athletes gone. That was the heel that she lost.
Next finalist in this category.
And that is the big pocket, which it is a good hold once you're into it. But that 10 so far proving too difficult for all of our athletes yet. Now, we did have some pretty torrential rain last night, and that's me being polite about it. It was biblical in its scale.
Yeah, I think it's like crazy thunderstorm last night. And I saw in the IVC group chat also, Romain, the chief center for lead, it said like it looked like it was flooding over here in the venue.
It did. I mean, the TV tent was outrageous. People were holding wires up off the floor because it was that wet. But we're hoping that the monsoons stay away for today. And this is a good 3D render
Of problem 2.
of problem 2.
I think it's problem 2.
It is, because for a Boulder and lead final like this, we have 2 athletes climbing at the same time. So it kind of keeps things moving. And honestly, I like it as a system. I'm a big fan of this.
Yeah, because now we'll have 2 climbers out on the wall, right?
Yes, exactly. And then as we wind down, we're left with just one at the end. So different style of boulder this. Still powerful. Ends on that 25 and a 12 degrees. Starts underneath, but there's a 65-degree roof to navigate in the middle of that. So we'll wait for Sukma to enter that. And there's the score. So to keep you updated, Jilulo is on top because of attempts. Nonoha Kume did one more attempt to that zone. She dropped it on that first go. That's why she's minus 0.2. Sorry, on the third go. Jain Kim, and then Sukma after that. That's our current top 4.
Making her first climb
Pause in proceedings, so we
Boulder
wait.
1, this is China.
And then Yutong Zhang runs on, as does Sukma.
And welcoming back here for her second climb in Boulder 2, Indonesia's Linda Kahyani Sukma. Best of luck, ladies.
Both athletes take a moment just to remind themselves they have had a look at this boulder before. So a jumpy start for Sukma. Let's have a look at this. She needs to hit the sloper and then move through that sloper.
Yeah, it's like a pedal move. So the second boulder problem, it's quite entertaining for the crowd to watch. Like the first one, it's a good opening show for the finals because they face the crowd, and then as an audience, you get to see facial expression of the climber. You get to see a bit of accuracy involved. But the second, they start hyping up the finals basically.
Yeah, we want to get that intensity going, don't we? But of course, it's a tricky balancing act, especially when you've got these conditions to deal with. All right, let's keep an eye on Yutong Zhang because she is on her boulder as well. Gets set really low, crouched down here.
She looks too comfortable sitting down.
Yeah, she did a bit. Couldn't really move once she sat down. And Sukma on this blue seems to be trying to stop.
Yeah, she tried to throw her right toe hook on the start hold, but I'm not sure if that will help or not.
Well, apparently so. So that is the
Oh, that's the
intended
intended.
meter on
Okay,
it, when
okay.
she kicked that toe. But she's trying to stop, well, she was trying to stop without it. And you can see the right leg flying, but she hasn't got the she hasn't got the accuracy on it yet. So Yutong Zhang is up once again, pressing. Can she get stood up? She didn't before, she does now. It's much better from her. So this position, eyes it up. Closer, still not sticking it. And I think it's becoming quite important to hit that low zone on that first boulder.
So I think every single point matters, and every attempt matters as well.
So it brushes down, minute 53 on the clock.
1 minute and 45 seconds remaining.
Now she goes for the paddle to go out. Now, although there is an intended beater, I hate saying it because it really doesn't matter. The athletes don't know it, and they'll do whatever it takes. So that toe hook, we might never see it, but it is there as a potential anyway. So the crowd atmosphere, it's pretty intense actually here out in the stadium. I know it's early, but I think everyone's awake, and look, we get a 5. She starts the swing, but oh, it's a wild swing.
But Yutong Zhang held it quite comfortably, looking quite good for the next move.
And she tried to heel the knee bar briefly, dropped it immediately, which I think is good, and now finds the heel. This is impressive, actually.
She's looking strong.
And hits the 10.
Fixed it.
Well, that will jump her up the leaderboard, and she gets the undercling. So this is an early, big play on this boulder.
There's a big move to cut loose the leg.
Just holds that swing, and one final sloper to go. Hits it with the left hand, hits the heel underneath. This could be our first top, and it is.
Amazing climbing by her. Amazing climbing.
She looked so despondent and sad right up to the moment she sent the thing, and then it was like a different climber out there. She gets confirmation from the judges.
Yeah, at the beginning, she looked very lost. Like she didn't know how to start. And then, like she sat down and like, what do I do? What do I do?
What do you, as a coach, do you help instruct your athletes? What do you tell them as advice in those moments?
In those moments, I would say actually turn off your brain. Stop over-analyzing. Listen to your heart. Listen to your instinct more. Let your body move on its own.
That's good advice, I might steal. So it's just kind of calming down, not letting those intrusive thoughts in.
Correct. So like, let's say if one of my athletes starts to overthink, I just tell them to just take slow, long, deep breath, to just calm down, relax, and refocus again.
good advice from our Malaysian coach here. But if you're just joining us, we're a couple of boulders into the Asian qualifier for the 2024 Paris Olympics. My name is Matt Groom. I'm joined by Saffron, who is the coach of the Malaysian team, who very kindly came into my commentary box. And I think it's mainly because we have air conditioning. That's what you wanted, right? Now that score has yet to be updated on the screen, so we saw Yuntong Zhang top it, so ignore that for the time being. It will change. Okay, so second boulder for Jilulo, and then Xian So is out and about, and I've got to stop bringing this up, but I'll bring it up for one final time, which is how much Xian So has improved in Boulder.
Yes. I mean, like, everybody knows her as a lead specialist, but before Tokyo Olympics, she has been a much better all-rounder for bouldering as well.
Yeah, she's really been working hard at that, and now she's one of the world's best at it, so hard work in the gym paying off for sure. And that's that toe catch.
Yep.
So big swing out, hit the toe catch.
There we go to Hyun-So with a good catch. Oh, she lost it.
Yeah,
she went with both hands.
She's got, two hands. Releasing that's going to be hard. Now steps on the volume, and now she's got the paddle, the coordination move. And she's been now, judge-wise, not the correct starting position.
She didn't tap both legs on the bottom starting pole.
She got called back by the judge, who pointed that out. So that will, if she had got the boulder, it wouldn't have counted. And it probably means that 5 isn't counted, but it will be now. And I'm being told by the judges that the scoring isn't currently working. So if you are on that app, then it won't be updating currently. I'll let you know when it starts working again. So apologies about that, but we'll, at this stage, at least we know pretty much where we're at in terms of the scores. And look at Xian So, she's in as well.
She's looking quite strong as well.
She has a toe, that's dangerous. She's going without it. Not quite. A risky way of doing it, I think, without that heel.
For sure.
Jilulo on the start hole once more. Into the 5, 2 hands, it's beautiful. She's got that movement really learned. And hits the pad.
Amazing.
Wow, big points on the board if she can get this 10. One move away, she hasn't, because the volume, sorry, so the 10 is pointing to the volume, so there's everything on that volume.
Yes, that's correct.
She's
just pressing, she's not using the blue undercut.
Well, the blue on the top of the volume.
Yes,
that's pure blocker, apparently, to prevent, because there's quite good friction up there, and they don't want them pinching it.
Ah, okay.
As you can see, she tried to do that.
They want just the press.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, I see.
That's clever setting, but it looks like a hole, didn't it?
It looks like a hole, yeah.
Yeah, I thought she'd be holding it inside pulling, but no, it's just a blocker move. So Jilulo rests with a good heel in. She's got, all the athletes have less than a minute now. Jilulo starts that press, can't make it work. Imagine how sweaty those palms are pressing on the green volume.
Yeah, with no chalk bag as well.
Oh yeah, true, good point. So the chalk on her hands has got to last, and I think it's been slipping off. And the problem is, she's got to come down if she's going to reset this quickly. She's going to go for the big jump.
I think for the ending move as well, it's accuracy involved because there's a little jib on the last hole as well.
Yeah, you can't see it really well on your screen, but it is on the left-hand side of that hole. And I've been told that the scoring has been now fixed. So hopefully, if you're updating the score, as one of our cameramen grimaces into the sun there. Let's watch some of Xian So's moments, because she came close, but Jilulo got that high zone, got the 10. That was the first attempt where she missed. This was later on. And as you said, I think running out of chalk, too much sweat. And pretty close, though.
Yeah, pretty close.
Well, we have a little reset. Our crowd who have filled the stadium this morning wearing all variety of sun hats. I like the gentleman there with the towel and hat draped over his head. That's
Tachiyama, man.
Oh, yes, it is as well.
It is Ashiyama. I talked to him yesterday, actually.
Yeah, so legend of the Japanese scene there.
Yes.
That's right. I didn't recognise him with the towel. Well, Miho Nanaka will get a massive reaction, as expected, as she walks onto the stage.
See, now, the two most experienced ones, they're just casually walking up.
Exactly. Thank you, Safra. Justified. Look, when you go to the Malaysian team, please sit them down and say, listen, Matt says...
Make sure you walk.
Yes. Well, Miho Nanaka was disappointed not to walk away with an Olympic ticket in Bern at the World Champs. Meant she had to go away a couple more months of training. And she was probably one of the favourites on paper until Futaba had that round. So let's see what Miho can do. Shenso on the coordination move of Boulder 2. No go on her first go, but Miho straight in, flashing the zone.
Super casual on the first move of the ball.
That awkward heel, sticks with a toe in order to adjust the hand to make room for the heel. This is perfect for Miho so far. Oh, missed the undercling. Surprised about that.
No, I think as soon as she hit the right hand, her right leg needs to like kick the wall straight away to maintain the tension.
And a slight adjustment needed for Miho. And she will sit down on the mats and rest. Got the beater down pretty quick on that. And Jane Kim, this is a boulder that she will struggle with a little bit. This kind of big dynamic pop.
As soon as you said that, she almost stuck the roof.
See, commentator curse works both ways.
Yeah, yeah.
I can be bribed.
Yeah.
You know, I will say something about an athlete. You know, just you know, drop me an envelope for the cash. I'll do what you want. I joke, I promise. So, Miho, with, I think, the best colour hair of the season, in my opinion. Although her gold in Seoul when she won gold was pretty special as well.
Yep.
Miho changes her hair pretty much at every comp, but it's brilliant. Look how casually she does that swing. Oh, but misses her left hand as I say that. Re-chalks up and
There we go. Kim Jae with a stick.
she's in. And now she's got to do this jump, sets herself. Oh, that was great.
Almost.
Miho's on the 10 once more. Oh, static into the right.
Leg still sticking.
Now, the left leg wants to hold on to something. The right leg kicks.
Okay, the thing with that, because she's more stretched out, so the swing is going to be much bigger when she cut loose to hit the wall with the leg.
So what would you recommend she do in this situation, do you think?
Like fully commit to the move. So from the left hand on sloper, just fully launch for the cheetah. But as soon as you catch, bring your entire body weight and kick the ball. Like what Yu Tong Zhang did. Because as soon as she hit the cheetah, her leg just like kicked the wall straight away.
So that is what she has to maybe do. She'll reset herself as she rests. Jang Kim goes again. She learned the movement the first time. Sometimes we see athletes once they hit a coordination move every time it's in their body, but this is a hard one.
Yeah, especially more for her because one, it's harder to learn coordination when you're older. But two, she's also the shortest out of all the competitors here in the finals.
Yeah, when you say older, I know what you mean, but just to clarify for people at home, it's there's this new school in quotation marks style of boulder, where if you're someone like who's been on the circuit for a while, like Jane Kim, they have had to relearn that as a sequence.
Correct.
Whereas someone like, I'm picking a name out of the hat, but someone like Francis Mejdi Shao has grown up jumping around.
Yeah, it's much easier for them to learn the moves.
Well, Miho got really close and now seems to be going backwards a little bit, and she is done 24 seconds, so that will only be the 10 for her on top. Jan Kim as well, although she's going to keep going. She wants the 10. She's only got 14 seconds. Hits it this time. 10 seconds to go. Can she get the 10? She can't.
Because she knows she needs to put as many points as possible in the bouldering now.
This is why I like this new form, because the attempts matter a little bit less because it's only 0.1. It means, and there's two zones. We get to see climbing action all the way through, which personally I love.
Yes.
So this was Miho. That was the attempt.
Yeah, you see, like as soon as her leg let go from the pocket, the swing is huge.
And that was, look at how far her legs arched over her head. In my head, I'm thinking of photographers clicking buttons and Our wonderful photographer, Elena Drapella, at this event has been taking some fantastic photos. Go to the IFSC Instagram, subscribe while you're there, why not? And you can check out some of the action from the last couple of days. Right, we've hiked Futaba Ito a lot, I feel. But she's had 2 days in a row of climbing. You know, to expect her to do another incredible round is a lot, but I've got fingers crossed here, all of my fingers, for Futaba Ito. What kind of a boulder is she going to be today? Misses the first swing, but got the range on it.
Also, earlier just now, when the camera pans out in the audience, Choku and gang, Choku and Sachiyama and all, they all have like the Futaba flag.
Yeah, I didn't spot that. I'm now going to have a little look when it goes back. Yeah, Futaba is, she's got unlucky this year. She comes close so many times. And mentally, it is a battle for her. So this is a huge moment for Futaba Ito now. Gets the pocket, but you saw the fingers starting to slide out of it. And on the left, we haven't talked at all really about Nano Hakume, but she is on the coordination move.
Yeah, she made the first move for Nano Hakume like stick quite fast actually.
Yeah, it was good work from her. Figured that out quickly, got it into her body. But I think it's one of those coordination moves where it's not a given once you got it once. You know, it takes a while to learn it. So Futaba pressing once more. Hits the swing.
What a big swing.
It's almost like she's going so far her fingers are uncurling from the pocket.
Well, I think she needs to brush the pocket because now a few more climbers have climbed on it, so there's a lot of chalk and it's quite hot, and now she's taking the brush.
Yeah.
As soon as I said that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because brushes, in the same way as, hang on, I'll hold that thought because Nano Hakume, eyes up, and nearly hits it. Yeah, what Futaba did was quite interesting. She chalked up, then grabbed the brush. The brushes themselves heat up. No, seriously, the handle
The metal bars,
yeah. So you've got to be a bit careful of that. But anyway, she's obviously experienced. But yeah, everything on that wall, the mats are warm, the brush is warm, and chalk management is so important, Dave. You see the score on the left as well. Zhang leading the way with that top 24.8, early leader here. And then Jilulo with 14.3, then Miho Nanaka, and then No Hakume after that, who we've got on stage. So Futaba eyes it up again.
She's struggling with the pocket a lot actually.
Enjoying it, is she? She tried to bump the hand mid-swing that time.
She readjusted during the swing, which is quite impressive to do also actually.
Yeah, it's like a, I don't know what you call it, dynamic hand swap, I guess. It's a lot. Nano Hakume is in. Oh, the minute buzzer goes. And Nano Hakume has come close. Didn't latch the move on the left. Futaba Ito. Well, this is where the pressure comes in for her. No points on the board. Needs this 5 if she wants to stay in touch early on. She's not going to get it on that attempt.
Because I think for Futaba Ito, she doesn't fully stand up before the jump from the crouching position, which is, I think, much harder.
Yeah, I think it is too. Only 25 seconds for Futaba to get points on the board. After that semi-final heroics, a difficult start for her. She's trying it more statically now. 15 seconds, and she is doing it more statically. But 12 seconds, she needs this, she's got it, and she will get the points on it. Can she hit the 10 in time? Moves up, it's there, it's 2 moves away, it's not going to be. Well,
but that was smart climbing by Futaba actually.
Yeah, it was very smart. She changed everything, risked it all for that last 15 seconds.
Because she knows every little point counts.
Yeah, so she'll go back, a bit disappointed, but with a sigh of relief that at least she's got on that board. And the No Hakume came close, but couldn't get it.
One thing also to mention about the No Hakume, she stuck the first move quite fast, and then she kept on repeating the first move quite easily actually, which shows a high level of skill set also.
Yeah, she seems to have learnt it the best out of the athletes so far. I tried to spot the food bar sign there, didn't see it, probably because she's not on stage, so he took it down.
They're on the left there. You see the Jersey Sport gang? So actually is this gang on the left.
Okay, so bottom left is where we need to look when we look at it. Well, let's have a look at our scores. That's not correct. Those scores, so ignore those.
Those were I think that was a score from semi-final.
That was the scores for semi-final, so ignore that. All right, next set of athletes are out.
Oh, we'll have our first look at Boulder number 3 as well.
Number 3, yes,
Yeah,
we do get to see number 3. So Sukma is on number 3. Now this is the boulder with no real handholds. And when I spoke to the setters, I said slow or fast through the sequence, and they said a bit of both.
Yeah.
Which is sitting on the fence, but I think we'll see it. So I think slow start and then a fast end to this sequence. So this is the slow bit. You can see all the rubber left behind. That's a good clue from the setters about where you got to stand. And on the right as well, hits the coordination moves at first time for Yutong Zhang. Sukma is all slow, so forget what I was talking about. She's just going really slowly. She might have to fall into it a little bit. Creeps her hands over. She's trusting the friction on that left foot. And eventually slides down.
So for that, Matt, do you think she's awarded the point for the 5 or no?
I tell you what, I'm glad I'm not a judge. Put it like that. We'll have to wait and see. I will keep it updated. But why, explain to people listening why she might not be awarded.
Okay, because as soon as she touched the volume with the 5 points, but she didn't make any movement. When she tried to readjust, then her leg slipped. So for that, I think she will not be awarded any points.
Yeah, I'm just having a look. She hasn't currently on my score been awarded the points, and I think you're right. It was way too marginal on that one. It used to be the case that you touched it and go and get the points.
Yeah. But now judging have become a lot harder, actually.
They do have a hard job. I think it's judges, belayers, and then, I don't know, today's just anyone standing outside in the heat's got a tough job. Right, Sukma is going again, nice and slowly, as she makes sure of the feet, but less good that time. Yutong Zhang hit the toe. It's so important putting that toe
to get
in.
the right toe hook, yeah.
Absolutely vital. And it's not good enough just to tap it like she does. You've really got to hook it under.
Yeah, because I think the flat hole sloper is like very bad.
So here we go again. She's brushing hold on the left, meanwhile on the right, she hits the toe. Good work from her. And Sukma will go again into that position. Wide legs in order to get established on the volumes. Creeps her way across. Oh, had a toe just catching herself there.
So that toe hook on the volume just kept her hips just in balance enough for her not to fall off.
So she saved it there. Now remove that toe. It was a second movement she didn't manage to save that time.
So one thing with like a slap problem like this, any fast movement will just knock you off. Everything has to be like very slow, very precise, very delicate.
And it's hard when your heart is beating at 30 seconds on the clock. It's a lot to say go slow.
Oh. Amazing work by Yutong Zhang.
Yeah, she's in. So that's 10 for her. And she's ripped off the tape from her fingers.
She want to feel the crimp on the left.
That was a very cool moment there. All right, well, she's ripped the tape off. Forget about skin. Can she latch this last hold? It's there. This will be her only opportunity.
She's going to go for it.
Oh, so close. And Sukma will also run out of time. Kicks the foot left, but no zone for her.
But that 10 also will be quite big for her score for Yutong Zhang.
Yeah, massive, true. Low scoring around this at the moment. This chess game you were talking about, or we are now talking about coming in. And look at this. I think, yeah, that was the kick on the last one when she was falling.
One thing to mention to the audience as well, why Yu Tong Zhang took off the tape, because when you tape your fingers when pulling on small holes at the crimps, it's very hard to feel it. Like you cannot really feel what you're trying to pull on. So she just took it off to feel a bit more what she's pulling on, because the crimp, I think, is fairly small. So you need to feel whatever you're pulling on.
Yeah, thank you for that. It's a good point as we look at the scores here. So Yuntong Zhang leading the way, 34.5. Then Jilulo, Mihonanaka in touch still. That's our current standing. Xianso runs on, as does Jilulo for the slab. I'm always impressed that she can run in flip-flops and climbing shoes as well.
I think all the Koreans do it also, actually.
They seem to, yeah. And they're doing it to keep the dirt and chalk off the bottom of their climbing shoes. All right, not that time, but the movement will be learnt. Jilulo, let's see if she's feeling slabby today. Brings that right foot gradually over. No hands, just pressing on the wall. And she heads towards the corner. And it's very hard on our shots to see the angle, but where that 10 is on the top left of your screen, there's a line down there where we call this an arête or a corner.
Yeah, it goes to like a slight arête. It's very subtle, but I think on camera it's impossible for you guys to see.
Yeah, it is hard. Sometimes we get an angle from the side where you can see them creeping around it, but it's just another feature of this wall. So Xianso, with 3 minutes on the clock, has had a couple of goes at that coordination move. Jilulo stands up, twists that left foot, gets it embedded into the rubber that you can see on the hold. Much better from Xianso there. 1-2 over. Jilu into the zone. Now she's going to get points for this. She's adjusting, she's moving, so that will be points on the board.
Yep, she's making movement of the 5.
And now she's really got to trust those jibs, and there is nothing on them. They're very, very small, but the 10 beckons. Tiptoes that right foot up into the 10. If she moves, she'll be awarded it.
I think this cross leg is quite... Ooh.
Oh, Xianso getting closer and closer on the right of your screen. Meanwhile, on the left, Jilulo is into the 10.
So much stress on the legs, so much stress.
My calves are burned watching this. She's holding the bottom of the volume now. There's the 25. And as an athlete, you do not want to repeat this boulder. You want to get it done now. She's still not bringing a chalk bag.
Yeah, I think maybe some athletes are not comfortable climbing with a chalk bag. So it's more of like your own preference. She's looking very, very good right now.
Just one crimp, hits it with the right, gets the left. We've got another top. And Jilulo is staying in her zone. She's so focused out there.
Yeah, not even a smile.
Nothing. Just there, a slight nod.
That was close by Xianso as well.
Well, it's all go as we come up to the minute marker here. Exciting stuff in Jakarta. And we are in the women's boulder round, more than halfway through now. My name is Matt Groom. I'm joined by Safwan here, Malaysian coach, who is very kindly giving us some of his expert insights. A route setter, a coach, and a very knowledgeable man.
Thank you for having me back.
Always, mate. Xianso is again, that's better. That right hand blue is a good hold.
I think so.
I think she needs to almost go a little further to the left in order to turn it into the side pull better.
But just now, earlier, when Jilulo hit it, she hit with her left hand, if I'm not mistaken, for the cheetah.
Yeah, it's a good point, yes.
So she went for like a double Gaston instead of the cross. Yeah, then the cross puts your hip in an awkward position for you to hold the swing.
So it rotates them off the wall.
Yes. Whereas like if you hit on a double Gaston, your hip is like quite center, so it's easier to hold the swing.
Let's see if she changes things up. She's got 16 seconds. She misses it this time. 13 seconds now. Gets ready. That toe, the pressure is on. You can feel it. Closer, but it's not going to be the 10 points for Xianso. She will leave the stage. Puts those flip-flops back on. And she will leave the stage. just a little bit of sweat, just showing how hot it is out there. These athletes staying cool and calm, but that was the top. And look at her, just there, slight nod, that's all it was. Very impressive.
Very poker face.
As a commentator, I like the drama, okay?
Yeah,
I like it when athletes are screaming and shouting, but when they're like that as well, you can just sort of feel herself sucking that emotion back in.
Yeah.
And look at what it did to her score, 39.2. She's starting to put a little bit of distance ahead of her competitors here. Miho Nanaka will need to respond.
We have in number 3, welcoming her back for her third climb, Korea's
Miho walks across. Jain Kim will start her slab on the left. Here we go. Jain Kim has a long look around the corner to make sure that those jibs are in the position she remembers. Miho, good first move with the toe. Jain Kim rotating that left foot through, trying to put as much rubber down as possible. Look at this from Miho.
She was flying through there.
Miho, she just always has full commitment.
Yeah.
I think that's occasionally, oh, she's got a few injuries along the way, but she leaves it all on the line when she's out there. Jain Kim creeps that right hand over. A lot of people talk about heels down on a slab.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Basically, pretty much when stepping on volume, you want as much surface area as possible. And plus, when your heel is down, that means your hip, your center of gravity is lower as well. So it's easier to shift and make movements.
Well, let's watch this here. You can see, look, that heel is up now, and as she moves onto it, it'll slowly drop down. And there it goes. She just drops a little bit, rubber there. I just realised I wasn't breathing there for a second. Ooh, okay, there we go. I don't want to hyperventilate here, but it is one of those boulders, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like very, very slow. See, any like fast movement, you're just gone.
Yeah.
Like so easily.
It's so frustrating as well, isn't it? You know, when you're halfway through the thing and you just hesitate or move the wrong way and you're gone.
And it's like complete opposite from problem number 2, where that's something very fast, explosive. And number 3, you're gonna come and like slow, calm down, relax.
Yeah, it's a change of pace, you're
Yes.
right, and it's because they're quite specific instructions the setters have. They have to set the boulders in a certain style, and the athletes know that by now, so they know the different moves and the different kind of temperament, I guess, that's required for each boulder. So I think Jain Kim would have gone backstage and just be sitting there, slowing that heart rate down, and she's looking much, much better now.
See, now she's moving much slower, very controlled movements on the volumes, trusting the legs.
Yeah, this is better. This is a bit of a masterclass of movement if you're watching this. Has that left toe in. Palming upwards into the blue volume. Into the 10 now.
60 seconds remaining in the round.
Keep an eye on Miho Nanaka as well. She got close. She hasn't managed to unlock the 10. And, you know, I don't want to over-dramatize this. Well, yes, I do, actually. What am I talking about? If Miho doesn't get this, she's in a little bit of trouble because she's going to be quite a long way behind our two leaders currently.
And like behind her as well, there's like a bunch of lead specialists as well.
Yeah. And we know Miho's good in her lead rope, but she'll want to do better here, so she needs some points. And there, a bit of a shout of frustration from Miho. You don't often see that. I think she's going to leave. She is going to leave. Well, there is some early drama for Miho Nanaka here as she leaves the stage. Real frustration. Jain Kim isn't going to do it either. And we'll wait to see whether she can get that 10. I think she probably would have done.
I think she would have gotten it as well.
Just going to check myself here just to make sure. Yeah, Jain Kim did get that zone. So the high zone for her. Miho Nanaka, though, 14.9 is her score. So she's, I mean, in no way is she out of it. However, our top two, Jilu Lo, 39.2, Yuntong Zhang, 34.5. Zhang Kim is the next after that, just 18.8, so quite a way behind.
Yeah, because I think for the two Chinese, they're the only ones with top so far.
Yeah. And, you know, we say it a lot, you can't win this comp in this round, but you can lose it. And as it progresses, as we see the scores on the left here, as this progresses, that feeling of slight panic that as an athlete, you know, when things aren't going right, that will just intensify.
Yep.
All right, Futaba runs out onto the stage. And Saffron, just explain coaching for us a bit, because you're not allowed into that isolation zone during the competition.
I am in the isolation zone with them, but once I'm in there, I cannot go out anymore.
Okay, so you have to stay or you have to go. It's one of the two.
Yes, correct. So like even the boulders, I don't know what's out there. So I cannot explain to my athletes what to expect.
That is because we try to keep this on site, and the athletes, we don't want to share. They share beta at the beginning, but how they actually work it out, we don't want them to know that. So, Noha Kume starts her creep over to the left. Futaba Ito will begin the coordination move. Not a bad first attempt from her. Just watching his Noha Kume palms down on that green volume but falls. Good stop from Futaba Ito that time. Found the toe catch. Falls on the yellow. When I looked at these boulders with the setters, I did think they seemed like some of the hardest boulders I've seen in quite a while in this format.
Yeah, I think Manu and team definitely give it everything they had for this golf.
Yeah, they did that, and they've got to do the men's later on. That team working very hard. There are two teams for these competitions, a lead setting team, a lead setting team and a boulder setting team. They do liaise with each other, they talk amongst themselves to try to get the balance right between the two rounds. Another fall from Futaba Ito. She goes back to her chalk bag, will start again.
Oh, interesting by the Noha Kume, she's like turning, but it's very hard to turn back.
Yeah, you're very right. She will give that volume a big brush, make sure it's clean. And Futaba Ito makes sure of that chalk covering her hands. Maximum grip, she dries it there. She'll put a little bit of liquid chalk on, and that, I call it the flappy hand dance. Copyrighted. But it's just the air blowing on the hand makes the liquid chalk dry quicker, because obviously there is a time limit to this. Futaba again, easier with that first move. Ooh, hit the right hand, but again, as you were saying, maybe not the best way to do it with crossing through with the right.
Yeah, I think so.
Noha Kume hits the palm again. I think she just needs to stop going so low on it. And stand up a bit.
I think she's trying to just like get both hands on the volume, which I think is counterproductive actually. She just needs to just like let go her hands, bring it up in the air, and just like trust your legs more.
Yeah, because going down means you haven't got as much rubber on those holds.
Yes, and going down also puts your center of gravity like slightly awkward. It puts you like behind instead of like straight on the volume.
It's maybe an adjustment needed, but she's only got 38 seconds. Futaba swings wildly. This is an intense boulder final so far. Has the right hand on now, will need this 5. Futaba's in once more, she's making that move consistently every time.
There we go, see the double Gaston, man, I told you.
Right, well this happened in the semis.
Has to quite fast.
Can she latch it? 6 seconds, come on, go, stop adjusting. She jumps, that's gonna be timed out. Oh, apologies if I got too loud there. I was desperate for Futaba just to go.
Why did I tell you that the double Gaston, that is the way to go?
This is why we have you. Genius. Oh, well, Futaba pulled something out then. Keeping in touch is what she needed to do. Futaba is giving me heart attacks this competition.
But I think that 10 is very good for her to keep up with the rest, actually. Because if it's just the 5, it'll be quite hard for her to keep up.
Absolutely agree with you. That was vital. And nearly hit the 25, but she was timed out, actually, as she moved through the air. I don't know if there's a delay on your end. Just look at the score. 39.2 leading the way. Then Yu Tong Zhang, 34.5. Zhang Kim. And Futaba, is that being updated? I'm just trying to work it out.
I think it has. Because for Boulder 1, she only got the 5.
Yeah, true. So that has been updated. Okay, so yeah, important for her. Well, we're going to have a little break in proceedings here while we take a pause. So it's a good opportunity to talk about what happens next over the next couple of days. And that, by the way, walking across the stage, that is Lena, who is our photographer. Do go and check her Instagram and, of course, the IFSC Instagram. So once the boulder has finished, which is coming up fairly soon, actually, we then will move to the lead this afternoon. Well, yeah, it will be this afternoon by the time we start that. After that lead, we'll have our first women's ticket given away, the first of the Olympic tickets for the winner. We'll then have a couple of hours break, return this evening for the men's side of this competition, where basically we do it all again and we crown a men's winner and an Olympic ticket for them. After that, that is it for boulder and lead, and we move on to speed tomorrow. And it's a packed day. Practice, qualifying, and the finals will all take place tomorrow. And the qualifying is streamed on the IFSC YouTube channel, so you can watch in case any world records go down. And of course, we're in Indonesia, which is the home of speed.
Yeah, it can break at any of the rounds actually tomorrow. It'll be quite exciting to watch.
It will be. I will confess this. Yeah, so the speed world record does go regularly, and I will confess to occasionally missing the speed world record because I get so sucked into it that I occasionally don't see the score. But yeah, potential records there. And the Indonesian speed team did well in Bern, but they seemed to get nervous. There were some mistakes.
Yeah. I think the pressure is a lot to handle, especially in speed where like every millisecond counts.
Yeah. And any mistakes as well. Full start is the end of their process.
Of the whole event.
Yeah, which is
like
brutal rule, isn't
very
it?
brutal, actually.
So that's coming up tomorrow, and that will be our final day here in Asia. And there are more continental qualifiers over the next couple of months. I don't think you'll hear my voice, but you will get people on the ground doing a great job, and that is in Australia, in Melbourne, and then in Africa, in South Africa. And I can't remember the city that's in. Do you remember the city? I can't remember at all.
Cape Town, Joburg?
Yeah, it's one of the two, isn't
One
it?
of two,
Mine's gone blank there. So there are chances for those athletes. And then next year, we have the OQS series, the Olympic Qualifying Series. And the top 10 from there will move forward to the Olympics. So although it's not over at this stage, if you can secure an Olympic ticket now, it changes your whole season next year.
Yes, correct.
Because otherwise, you have to basically train like an Olympic athlete up to the last minute.
Yep. So like all these athletes want to peak at the right time. So let's say for Tomoe Nagasaki and Ai Mori, who have their Olympic tickets secured already, so they can just like, maybe they won't really focus that much on World Cup. Maybe they do like 1 or 2 here or there, but then they focus to peak just in time for Paris.
Exactly, and that does make a massive difference because mentally as well, you just sort of, you know, your focus is one thing now. That's it.
Yeah.
So this is why these events and these continental qualifiers are really important. We had the Pan Ams. That was the last one before this, and before that we were in. Oh no, it wasn't the last one. Laval was the last one before that. That was in France. That was the European qualifier. Then there was the Pan Ams. There was the Pan Ams, and then, of course, the speed qualifier in Rome. Hello and welcome back to Jakarta. If you're just joining us, we are here for the Olympic qualifier in Asia, Jakarta. And this is the moment halfway through the competition where the pressure really ramps up. This is boulder number 4, our first chance to have a look at this. Saffron, what did you think of this one when you were checking it out?
It's quite physical, very physical.
It's a big ask at the end of a boulder round, isn't it, to put a power boulder in. And, you know, again, asking from your setting background, deciding the order of the boulders, that's a big part, isn't it?
So basically for like finals or any rounds actually, we decide how we want the story to unfold. So like you can start the story started with something like quite complex, like facing the crowd. So it's quite entertaining for people to watch. And then like climbers also puzzled, and then becomes a bit faster, then slower a bit. And this last one is going to be like action-packed.
Well, that's the idea. Let's see if the athletes have got the energy and skin to pull off that idea. And certainly, Sukma struggled on that first move. And Sukma will need some points on the board here. She is currently down in the bottom. Hasn't got any points yet, but she'd love to get a zone to start things off. And Yutong Zhang there is creeping her way across. She did go quite low, but has made it work. And look how much of that left foot is pressing into the slab.
Yeah, her heel's like fully down.
Maximum rubber. But then you go from smearing to edging, using the edge of the rubber on your climbing chute on that jib. And she's crimping the edge. Oh, do you train your athletes? Do you like go and hold on to that volume with your fingernails?
No, but I do have some of my athletes who crimp like the edges of the volume, even when it's fully flush, but they crimp with their nails.
Oh. See, this is why calcium is important. You need strong nails, you know, it's vital. Well, Yutong Zhang has made progress. She's close to the 10. Just readjusts the feet slightly. Twisting and turning on that hold. Palming as she presses into the volume, but a foot bobble. Progress as well from Sukma there. A big compressed style move, that.
Yeah, very, very powerful. A lot to ask after they've done like 3 boulders already as well.
In fact, I can ask you something, coaching. I'm rubbish at compression. How do you get your athletes to improve compression moves?
Basically play more compression moves. So usually like if I tell my athletes, just imagine you're trying to hold on onto a fridge upside down. Just squeeze it for dear life.
That's a good imagery, yeah. Well, she's in. Look, she did squeeze for dear life. And she's close to a 5. Could this be her first score? Come on, I really want her to. That won't count. This might now. I think she might be on the board. Come on.
I think now she'll be on the board. She makes movement from the 5.
Right, points, brilliant. That's so good to see. So the Indonesian crowd will get behind that one. But crimps to come, and it's a long move, this. Hit it, couldn't stick it. And with 41 seconds to go, that slow, agonizingly slow journey to the left on the slag begins again. Maximum rubber, but she's almost standing on her own foot there. Had to be careful.
But if you look at her right hand, she's fully crimping nails on the edge of the volume.
Horrible. The setters do try to block them, but there's only so much can do.
Much better from Yutong Zhang now, getting to 10.
Yeah, so that's more points for her.
So like for that, I think if she had more time, she'll be more composed, and I think she can make the top this now. But she knew she had no time. She's like, okay, get a 10. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's, you know, she's up there on the leaderboard, so that 10 again just ramps things up for her score. Well, it's not the results that I would necessarily have predicted at the beginning of this competition.
Likewise, man.
Well, that's what we love about climbing. We said it at the beginning. We said anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Correct, correct.
So fascinating stuff here as we near the last part. We've said goodbye to 2 boulders already. That was the 10 you were talking about. So just got the points. Missed that right foot on that attempt, but running out of time anyway. Whew. Okay, it's all go. We have a next rotation. The athletes are somewhere behind that blowing curtain in the middle next to the speed wall. And it's actually creates some, I was filming some video there the other day, it creates some wonderful shots as athletes' eyes appear. Here we go. Shenso Jilulo, who has been in her zone and climbing brilliantly so far. Let's see if she's got some power left in her arms. Xianso back heels to get started. Now twists that left foot, gets some rubber involved. Chalks up before she comes down to the slab. That's good climbing from Xianso so far. And look, over on the right, I took my eye off it. Jilulo is into the 5. Hits the crimp.
She's looking very strong, making quick work of this.
Oh, he's got to trust that heel as she hits the right hand. Sorry, to the toe, but then she's got to unlock the toe and kick. This is on for a flash.
What a move.
This could be maximum points here if she can hold this last one. One move away.
I think she got this.
Adjust the feet. She needs to match it. You can't just put one hand. She does match it.
That's the first flash of the comp.
Wow. Well, that from Jilulo is massive. 49.2 is her score in a low-scoring round. Nearest rival, Yutong Zhang, 44.3. Zhang Kim still down. She's got some boulders to go, but an 18.8. And Xian So will need a top here as well. She's currently only on 14.4. Needs some points on the board.
And now we have So Cha-Yu.
Palm pressing. She eyes up that 10. Just the thumb on that jib.
Yeah. But she's looking quite good so far. Moving very slowly, very precise.
That's a good shot to show what she's standing on, which is not a lot. That's the 10. Should be awarded that now. She just does a bit of a shift, which I think she does. Yeah, so that will be 10. It's a brave decision to have a slab like this, but the setters have done well, I think. It's not boring to watch.
Yeah.
I'm getting sucked into it.
Because even that right leg cross in is actually quite a tricky move to execute also, actually.
Next one. And concentration-wise, you've got to focus throughout that boulder. You know, there's no... If you take your brain away from your feet for a second, you're gone.
Yep.
So he's alone out there on the mats now after that quick flash of the final boulder. Right, here we go again. Slab aficionados enjoy every second of this. I'm being told by my team that this move that we're watching Xian So do is called Jakarta move. It reminds me of an Indonesian dance, which is why they set it. So she begins that dance across. I want to see what an Indonesian dance is now.
Oh, actually, you should have been there during... so after the technical meeting we had on the first day, the first night that we were here, they invited us for a gala dinner as well. And during the dinner, they had like some dancers from, I think, Papua New Guinea. So it was like quite cool to watch, actually. Like the traditional dance in their traditional clothing and everything.
Oh, there we go. I did miss that one, so I should have come along. Just gets that right foot on. Low on the volume now, but commits to that almost like a side pull. 6 seconds, fires off.
I think that buzzer like knocked her out of her mental state. Like she knew that, oh, there's no more time. And she panicked, she rushed, but then sadly for a slap, you cannot rush things.
No, you can't, and we see it so often when those buzzers kick in.
Yeah, it like knocks you off your game. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I have like 5 seconds to execute.
I swear sometimes when I return from a competition, I hear those buzzers in my sleep, you know. Well, that was the flash, and that left Jilulo in a very good position. On a normal round, you think 49 point whatever it is low, but on this, it is a low-scoring round, and she's done well.
Yep.
Hello, crowd. Nice to see you. That's some of our competitors down there. That is the... I can't see what team. I think it might have been the Indian team there, but watching. So, 64.2. Sorry, I said 50. 64.2 awarded for Jilulo. and then Yutong Zhang after that. So yeah, 64.2 is impressive. All right, Miho Nanaka, you could tell obvious frustration from that second boulder, and she's still looking not quite like Miho.
Yeah, she looks quite frustrated so far with her own performance, I think.
Yeah, there's just something about the body language for me. I mean, I might be misreading it. Apologies, Miho, if I am. But she just, as she walked out there, she didn't have that energy. So, Miho, once again. Careful with the feet. That's the Jakarta dance. Zhang Kim missed the compression on the first go. This is such a test of Miho's mental strength.
But she's looking very composed so far.
Edging nicely. Rubber on the hold. Zhang Kim swings out. Oh, a pop there from Miho, but she saved it. Adjusts the foot. I'm surprised she hasn't chalked up that left hand. Now she does. I think she just wasn't maybe feeling stable.
I think she heard you, man.
Can you imagine? Zhang Kim is into the compression. Good move from her. Right, 5 to come. It's a big move out towards the side pull. Get set. Look at this for Miho Nanaka. Come on, Miho. Yes!
Good climbing by Miho Nanaka.
Well, there we go. That is why that lady is an absolute champion. Silver medal in the last Olympics. And she needed that. And look at that difference in body language as she walks off.
Like, she's like, okay, yes, down, in again.
Like, there we go.
Yeah.
Ah, that's awesome to see.
I think there was a flash as well.
Yeah, yes, I think it was. You're right. Wow.
She spent almost 2 minutes on the column.
Crazy, isn't it? And look, I'm trying not to have favorites here, but what I do have is like empathy for those athletes, and you could just see what she needed to get from it. And good work from Miho Nanaka to stay, well, get herself back into this comp. Zhang Kim swings, hits with the right well, now nails the jib with the right foot. Holds that crimp. She missed this move last time, seemed in a better position that time.
Yeah, I think the left foot high step works better for her height.
Crosses through into the crimp. Oh, she's wrapping her hand. I'm not convinced by that, we'll see. Because when she kicks over on the left, that hand's...
That's very smart climbing though. She's trying to reduce the swing of the toe hook.
And she does make it work.
That's brilliant climbing.
I think that her right thumb must be doing a lot of work in there, which we can't see. That toe hook is wild, though. It's so far left.
Yeah, so the thing is, because she's palming, it's very hard to push any further because she's already seen quite maxed over it.
See her shoulder there, that push. 48 seconds to go. She will go again, but I think she burnt quite a lot of energy on that go. She wants the crowd, who have been a little bit quiet. I think they're just as fascinated as we are, just getting sucked into this. This is the swing, though, again. She goes again. Come on, Zhang Kim. She keeps going, but I think this could be the end. I think that was her one go there to get it done. She has to say goodbye. Zhang Kim says farewell to the audience as she looks back at the top. She doesn't really want to leave the stage. She will have to, and she trudges her way off. Well, this was Miho Nanaka, and look at the reaction when she got it. Latched it, head up, did that pull up, and yeah, that was important for her.
But that shows experience. Like after 2 bad boulder rounds, the third one she maintained composure and she just executed.
Yeah, and she could, you know, if she gets the next one, which we now know is toppable.
Yep.
She's right back in the game.
Correct.
Ooh, okay, well, here are the scores. Yululo still leading the way, then Zhang, then Miho Nanaka, and look at the difference that made. She's still behind, but it kept her right in it. Zhang Kim as well. Xian So needs, well, didn't get points. She's done, so Xian So's got a lot of work to do on the leaderboard later.
No, I think Chainsaw still has.
Oh yeah, Boulder 4.
Boulder 4, yeah.
I'm so glad you're here. Thank goodness you're here to contest. I think I'm so lost in this competition. I really am. All right, Futaba Ito is another one who
She needs some points here.
she does. And that ISO, I mean, I always say it, but I wish there was a fly on the wall in ISO just to see what she was doing back there. Brings the feet through. Delicate start. Noho Akume straight into the compression move. Has the foot on the jib. Hits the 5.
That was a back weird heel.
Yes.
I don't know what that move will be called.
I know, right? When you have to describe this stuff, it's difficult.
Yeah.
I just tend to make up words.
She's so crunched up, but she's making it work.
And she's seeing the toe, so she knows it's the right cross. Commits, lean back, a lot of body tension. She doesn't go for that wrap, she's crimping it, like Jilulo did.
Futaba Ito also on the slab, looking quite good. Very calm and composed.
Yeah, up into the 10 points on the board. Oh, slip from Noho Hakume. Careful with the feet now, Futaba. Just make sure of it. Slid that foot down the wall. Fingers right on the edge. She'll re-chalk up. Not a lot of texture on those green volumes.
She's crimping the edge of the 360 now. She's going all out there. She wants this.
She wants it. She
wants
needs
it badly.
And she gets it. Futaba Ito settles herself into this comp after 2 bad boulders.
I think that's like 2 attempts, I think.
Yeah, it was quick from her. And a smile and a nod, she knows as well. Well, I would imagine the atmosphere back in ISO has changed somewhat if you're in Team Japan.
Yesterday they were quite playful also actually. Like they were playing, you know, the roller foam, they were putting in the center, like standing up, and they were throwing their tape like a basketball, trying to put it inside. It was quite funny to watch.
Is that a standard warm-up technique? Or?
I don't know. I think for like the Japanese people, I noticed for the athletes they try to be as like relaxed and playful in ISO as possible.
That's a great insight. Thank you. Any more secrets that you are allowed to reveal, please do, because people want to know. / I want to know. The ISO was pretty busy yesterday, and this facility is brand new. We won't be returning to Jakarta next year, but this place has real potential for future years and World Cups.
Yeah, I think as a venue itself, it's very well done, like in terms of setup and everything.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, I have to see what it's like when it's fully tested by the rain. Luckily, the rain came a bit late yesterday, but I'm not sure what would have happened if that monsoon had happened during the comp.
Like it started raining yesterday when Noho Hakume was on the wall, like a little bit.
And luckily, it was too early on to affect her. All right, she stretches out again, holds the crimp. She slipped or fell here before.
Oh, she's trying to match.
This is a powerful way to do it. I think without that palm, it's tricky.
Yeah, and she looked quite tired as well.
Well, Noho Hakume will leave. So she trudges off as well. The last couple of athletes now coming out before we will say goodbye to this Boulder round. I did bump up Noho Hakume's score. She's now 24.3. Let's see this again. This was the match. And, yeah, I didn't quite have it.
But again, this final round has proven to be
yeah, fairly low scoring for Noho Hakume.
Especially these final 8. They are so far proven.
So 4 to come
Highly skilled one.
on this boulder. Jilulo leading the way, as we know. Lead score will be added to that, so another potential 100 points available.
Is in the lead from China, followed by her country, USA.
We have a A little pause as a bird flies across your screen. We are in the middle of a park here. We haven't really seen too many shots of it. There were some drone shots last night, but this is a bit of a sporting facility. There's lots of stadiums and
There's a lot of things happening around this area, actually. You see people exercising like all the time. It's very happening here, actually.
it's a nice place to hang around and walk around.
She is China's Zhang Yutong.
Yutong Zhang is out. Currently way up there on the leaderboard, so if she can get this, it's a big opportunity for her. Launches, slides off it though. So she has another little think, and those holds will not be improved by athletes touching them.
Yeah, I think a bit of brushing helps.
Just trying to figure out this starting move. It looks flat on your screen, but it is pretty slopey to stand on. Those feet out. And I don't know if you can hear, by the way, there's an occasional whistle. I certainly can hear it. That's because there's a football pitch right next to us, so no one is whistling at our athletes, just to let you know. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but if you can, that's what it is. Into the crimp. Side pull. Trust the toe. There's a semi-wrap in there, and we'll try this match as well.
Good release by her.
Yeah, and from here, if she can sort her feet out and get the press, why is she going so low? I think she's just dropping, I don't know about this. Yeah, that's better. She needs to commit to the press. I think she was trying to get a toe underneath there, maybe for a moment, or maybe readjust, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure as well. I forgot what that wall angle is. I think it's
Pretty steep, isn't it? Ish. Yeah, I have no idea. I measure angles now in climbing walls, mainly sort of kilter boards. I have that image in my head. I'm like,
Okay.
oh, now what's a 45 kilter board? Oh, right, okay. Maybe just me. How do you tell you're a climber without saying you're a climber? So, Yutong Zhang is being very specific about where she wants that brush. And the brushes are there for that purpose. That's their job. That must be a tough job as well. We're talking about hard jobs.
yeah.
So in the minute 16, she's going to milk this. I think she knows the beater. There's no point going multiple times.
Yeah, I think she's just going to take her time and have one last good go.
Well, there's the buzzer. She'll run this down, resting as much as possible. All right, it's 48 seconds, hits the clock. Just, that left hand was slipping and sliding.
She's really fighting now. I can see her body shaking a little bit.
Yeah, this is intense from her. She's exhausted. It's the last climb, the last go, and I think that is the end for her. Yeah, it is the end. I'm almost surprised she didn't rest longer, to be honest. I think she wanted to give herself a bit of time on the press, perhaps, to work it out.
as well.
Well, 3 to go. And still room on the leaderboards to maneuver for these athletes. That was latching the side pull in the adjustment.
So one thing to mention as well, her teammate Jilulo, even though she flashed it, she made it look quite easy. You can see so many athletes now struggling with the moves.
Yeah, that is a very good point. You never know, do you? When an athlete comes out, you're like, how have the route setters messed this up? Is it undercooked? Oh no, they're just brilliant. Let's have another look at it from our 3D render.
See, it is quite steep.
It is steep, isn't it? There we go, as it flips around. So it starts obviously down there with that low, and the blue lines, they indicate a limb, so you have to have a limb on each one of those. There's a jib back there, which is hard to see in your camera angle. You come into that side pull, then that's the stacked. And why would they stack? I mean, you're a setter, why do you stack something like that?
Okay, so the smaller jib on the bigger jib, basically when you put the bigger jib underneath it, you elevate the smaller one. So the profile where you're holding becomes a little bit nicer. Because I think just that jib on its own is not really holdable. So when you elevate a little bit, it's just nice enough for you to hold.
There you go, thank you very much. This is great. I've got two, it's like having two co-commentators in the box. I've got a route setter and a coach down here. It's brilliant. Shen So gets that right foot on the jib. Big slip, she held it. And there is that red jib we saw. You can see it better from that shot. Thank you, team. Into the left side pull, gets the toe. And that's a stacked hold we were talking about where her right hand is.
Oh, so casual releasing that leg.
Well, she's got to push now. Drops that foot down in order to get the left hand. That's what we saw Yutong Zhang try to do, but not quite pull it off. Julia Law made this look so casual.
Because she stepped her right leg back on the crimp and she dropped knee.
Ah, okay.
So it puts her body in like a comfortable position to move. So right now, Chaehyun is fighting. She's trying. There we go. There we go.
Oh, she heard you.
Yes, she heard me there.
Much more comfortable. She needs this as well. This is important. She gets the match.
That's a flash.
That is a flash. And what a way to finish the comp. And that will bump her score right up the board. Oh, this has been intense. So now she's 44.3, which means she's right behind the leaders, and we know how good a lead climber she is. So
yes, she was literally on the last hole for lead yesterday.
Oh, crazy, isn't it? Well, that boulder. I mean, I've spotted about 6 moments here where when we look back, we could be like, that's the moment they won an Olympic ticket, you know, and that could be one of those moments, getting that boulder.
Yep.
It's tense, it's close here in Jakarta. 2 athletes to go before the break. Miho Nanaka, Futaba Ito to come.
That's right, and both of them will be making
Yeah, there's our leaderboard. So Lau way out in front, 64.2. Oh, it could be anyone. I mean, Miho Nanaka could bump a score, Futaba Ito could. Well, let's see if Miho's fully put that disappointment behind her. Has she completely reset?
I think a powerful boulder pole like this is right up her alleyway. So it's just more about mental composure and executing.
Yeah, I agree. And she likes those powerful moves.
Yep, she does.
But skin, and Miho's skin, is something that she does struggle with a lot.
I think everybody's struggling with skin issue in this competition because all the holes and ISO is all brand new. So then during the warm-up, everybody's don't realize, but they're wasting a lot of skin.
Ah, yeah. Good point. So rough holes in the isolation zone.
Yes.
And yeah, Miho has sweaty fingers sometimes. You see her often look down. I heard this from May, who was my co-commentator in Hachiochi, which seems like a lifetime ago, but that was the beginning of the season.
Also a route setter as well.
Yes, she is. And a fantastic co-commentator as well. So, mate, I'm sure you're listening. Hope you're doing good. Miho, this is her flash go. Looks to the left. Ooh. Different toes. That was clever.
It's to reduce the swing. It's clever climbing.
And immediately spots that, but she hasn't turned it into a drop knee yet.
She needs to turn the other way.
Oh, it's risky this, but she does get in.
There we go, her knee dropping now. There we go.
Flash for Miho Nanaka, she's back in the game fully.
That's 2 flashes for number 3 and 4.
That is one of the best mental performances I've seen. For her to go to visibly disappointed, you know, like, I feel like if she could have disappeared from that wall, she would have done, you know, just take me away. And then now she doesn't really want to leave, you know, it's such a good turnaround from her. Wow, what a nail biter this morning. I'm already exhausted. We've got 3 more live streams to go. This was the press. She read it beautifully, turned that drop knee. A bit of a struggle to do it that way, but she made it work. And a relief.
So next up is Futaba Ito as well. So she knows that Miho Nonaka, Chaehyun Cheo flashed it. She can hear it. She knows the time. So she knows she has to execute as well.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, so she's going to be back there. If she wasn't nervous before. All right, well, Futaba is out and about. She's another one who really needs high scores on this. The buzzer begins. We start our final 4 minutes of the women's boulder round of this lead and boulder competition. Beautiful. The way she hit that jib with the right foot was incredible. Maybe it's given her a bit of confidence. I mean, she knows.
Yeah, she's coming with a lot more confidence now.
Yeah, it's not like she's going to be hesitating. She's like, there is a way through this. Just believe in yourself, and she is believing. One move. Can she see that standing on the jib? She hasn't yet. Oh, she's just going to go for it, isn't she? Unless she adjusts now. No, I think she's just going to try to hit it. Ah, it doesn't matter. And a stupidly high foot.
Not with confidence, but with utmost confidence.
Ridiculous, isn't it? Well, I cannot wait to have a look at these scores because everything seemed to change midway through that comp. What we thought was going to be the case changed.
So you see all the flags in the back? That's Choku. That's basically Futaba's coach when she was younger.
Ah, there we go. Thank you, man. Well, let's look at replay, and then we will check the scores, and then we will go away for a bit. And I'll let you know exactly when we're going to return, because trust me, you do not want to go anywhere. And look, Safwan, I'd like to have you back. I hope you come back for the lead. It's up to you. We'll have to see. But
no, I'll be more than happy to come back, actually.
Awesome.
This is quite exciting to do. Something new for me.
I told you. It's good, isn't it, in this commentary box? Well, we're waiting for our final scores, and I'm just going to check as well exactly when we're starting. Well, there we go. Miho Nonaka leads the way. What a turnaround. 64.9 has put her right back in the running. Then Jilulo, Futaba Ito, Itong Zhang, Sheon So, Jain Kim, Nonoha Kume, and Sukma Lintang. Everything changed in that one. The Chinese athletes were leading the way. The Japanese had to go and reset, get their heads together. And what a performance from them to pull that one out of the bag, and they really did pull that one out of the bag. The start time is being just tweaked here because we had a slightly later start, so I'll let you know when I find out.
Now, anything can happen here in the lead category as well, so I invite you to set your legs.
Okay, well, listen, we'll go away for a while. Keep us on in the background for the exact start. We'll see you for the lead round. And in about an hour, we will find out who will take our Olympic ticket. I'll see you soon, everyone. Hello and welcome back to the lead side of this boulder and lead competition in Jakarta. This is the Asian qualifier, a chance for one of our 8 finalists to make it through to the podium, to win that and get an Olympic ticket. There's a lot on the line, it's all to play for. And if you didn't see the boulder earlier on, well, you missed out on some spectacular and very extremely scary climbing because things went back and forth all over themselves. My name is Matt Groom. I'm joined by Safwan in the commentary box. Safwan, have you recovered from that boulder round yet?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's a bit rushed because we only had like a very quick, like 15-minute break.
Yeah. Yeah, I think normally we have a bit longer, but I think the boulder round lasted a bit longer than normal. So we move on to the observation, and this is another chance. You are the Malaysian coach. What do you tell your athletes to look out for in these moments when they're trying to read the route? What are they trying to spot?
Actually, just try to find the right rhythm, the right flow for it. Just see which hole is supposed to go for your left hand, your right hand, where to send your leg. I think from reading this route, it doesn't look too complex of what you need to be done, but it looks quite like sustained and physical the entire way.
Yeah, a lot of the lead routes as part of this boulder and lead, they tend to be less dynamic, more sort of resistance-based to test those lead climbers. And we're seeing the different scoring points as well. So the holds get worth more points as the higher you get. It was 1 down below, then 2, then 3, then 4 as we near the top of the wall. So the higher up, the higher you score. And finally, 100 maximum points are available if you get to the hold and clip the final quick draw, which is important because we saw some people drop the last move. 45 degrees in the middle and 4.5 minutes on the clock. And yeah, for these athletes, it's a lot, isn't it? Because in terms of roller coaster and mentally getting ready for this, they're having to deal with so much.
Yes, there's a lot on the line. And like mentioned earlier, because there was a slight longer break, that the boulder round took a bit longer than normal. So now their break in between boulder to lead has been cut short. So I think most of these athletes are still not fully like recovered after the boulder round, but they still have to come back and perform for the lead straight away, more or less.
It's a lot, isn't it? And it's not exactly an easy route out there. The level is slightly easier than a standard World Cup single event route, as you'd expect, because they usually don't climb 4 boulders before that. But yeah, a bit more resistance-based. And pretty long, as you can see. It winds its way across this wall, taking full use of the space. From 30 degrees into that 45-degree section for the yellow and black holds. 35 on the edge, briefly touch that before moving into the head wall. And a head wall is the final section of the wall, which is usually less steep, as you can see, 25 degrees. So a chance to get a bit of pressure off the arms, and yet the technicality of the climbing tends to get harder up there.
Yeah, at the beginning of the live stream just now, there was graphics that showed breakdown of 4 different sections. So the start was like easy welcoming, which is the black section, and when it gets to the purple section, becomes a bit more complex, and then to the yellow sections, very physical, very sustained, and the last part of the route, which is the blue and yellow section, becomes a lot more intense, but a lot more risky moves as well. So like climbers can fall off at any time.
Well, that is what they have ahead of them. Miho Nanaka, Futaba Ito, reading the route together. Nanoha Kume up there with the binoculars on. And there are lots of tactics, aren't there? Because the athletes are allowed to go back into ISO and draw the route. And
yes, they're allowed to draw the route afterwards. Some of them do come up with like maybe a little book and a pen, and they try to like draw it out. But I think for most of them, they sort of know what to expect as well.
It always blows my mind because they have an ability to, and I know this is something they obviously practice and that they're professionals, but to remember a route that complex, that takes some practice.
Yeah, and especially if you're coming out later. So let's say like for Futaba Ito, Miho Nanaka, they come out like after 6 climbers have climbed before them. So let's say like 6 times 6 is 36 minutes. So that's a long time for them since they last saw the boulder problem, the lead route, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. They have to have that sort of ingrained in their memory. They will get 40 seconds when they come back on to the stage to remember the route, and then they're hustled on to get climbing. And that was the only representative from Indonesia in the final. Sukma, we saw her. She got on the board, which was fantastic, got a low zone on the final boulder, which is going to give her a bit of a confidence kick coming into this lead wall. And the route on the right is the men's.
Yeah, the route on the right is the men. But one thing to know right now is the 2 youngest competitors are the one on the on the platform right now. Whereas like all the more seasons one, they went down to the grass to look at the lead route a lot further away.
So a little bit of a tactics.
Something is like it's off camera, but I can see them in front of me right now.
Yes, you're right. That's a good spot, actually. So you can go with, there are certain limits. Usually the fence, basically, is the limit, but the athletes are allowed to walk, and you can see down Xianso.
Yeah, but now some of them are already back on already. But just now, like most of them were on the green part of the grassy fields below.
Interesting. All right. Well, maybe look at the smiles between those two. And let's talk about Boulder, because it was a roller coaster of a ride. The two Chinese athletes early on made a big play, early tops, and the two Japanese favorites really struggling, but then they pulled something back.
Yeah, I think maybe the heat got to them a little bit at the start, but somehow they managed to reset their mind and focus back and execute it for number 3 and 4.
It was impressive performance, and I was actually chatting to a few of my colleagues in that short break, just saying, and we all agreed, you know, Miho just didn't seem herself, especially the second boulder, which you thought would be her cup of tea, you know?
Correct. And it's quite rare for her to show like frustration and anger. You can see it in her face.
Yeah, a lot went on, but then she pulled it back in one of the most impressive displays of sporting mentality I think I've ever witnessed. It was incredible. All right, well, the judges are hustling, which is my favorite moment. I love this. It's like, well, you know, herding a thingy of cats. I can't remember what the phrase is, but it's true. Look, it's just like, come on. And the athletes will dawdle. They're having a last little look. Futaba does it especially.
And they all like casually walk while still looking.
Yeah. I've seen Futaba do this before. To the look, she's still looking as she leaves. Well, that's the formalities done. They've observed the route. Now it's time to try to put that observation into practice. The rope will be pulled through, and this is a good chance to explain some of the lead rules. Bear with me if you know them already. I know there's a lot of experienced people. Basically, it's very simple. You start at the beginning, you finish at the top, and on the way, there are quick draws or fixed draws hanging from the wall. The athletes have to clip their rope into each one of those draws to keep themselves safe, and you have to clip each one, and you have to do it in order and in sequence. And although that sounds obvious, we've seen lots of examples over the years of people missing clips, back clip, Z clipping stuff in the wrong order, you know, so it's a factor to consider. This is our leaderboard. There was 100 points available for Boulder. Thank you. There's a little finger there, that's not me. 100 points available for lead, so out of a possible 200, whoever can get the highest will not only win this competition, they will win an Olympic ticket. And in less than probably an hour, we will find out who that is. I've just made myself nervous, Saffron. I really have.
A lot at stake right now.
I don't know if my hands are sweating because of nerves or just because of the heat.
No, actually mine started sweating as well. I think it's a climate thing.
Yeah, it is baking hot here in the stadium. The clouds have come in over during the boulder, and you can see they're pretty grey, but the humidity seems to increase when that happens.
Yeah, even though there's no sun right now, it's feeling quite muggy at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. I think I described it as air soup the other day, and it does feel a bit like that. But personally, I love this kind of an atmosphere. It's just, it's better than cold, I think, in my opinion. Anyway, here we go. Sukma Lintang will come out first for Indonesia. And she's waiting behind that billowing curtain in a very dramatic fashion. There is the top hold, 100 maximum points. And it's less complicated than Boulder, where we get minus 0.1 for attempts. This is simple. You get to the top, you get 100. And your points from there on are depending on how far you get. Now, that's an indicated graphic. That will change quite a lot depending on who does what. It does give you an idea of the kind of position. Now, this is for Sukma, so this would be where she has to get to for a preliminary first position without the other athletes having climbed. Did that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That's good. Need to check sometimes. So she needs to get high up on the wall, basically. And for an athlete who is less experienced than the others, she hasn't had the high placings that the others had. This is going to be a big task for her.
I'm not familiar with her, but has she been in any World Cup circuits earlier this year?
Yeah, she did Bern, where she was just over 100th in that. She's done a few along the way, but up into the 70s. So an athlete who hasn't really broken into that maybe top echelon yet.
Yep.
But one to watch for the future, I think.
For sure.
And it's a good thing I like about these continental qualifiers is because there's a smaller pool of athletes, we get to see some athletes we don't usually witness.
There's like new talents coming up.
Exactly that, yeah. And personally, I've really enjoyed it. You know, it's good to learn about new people and see their styles, and I don't know. For me, it's fascinating. But I'm a massive climbing nerd, so who knows? All right, well, our cameraman has backed out of those billowing, I don't know what to call them, fronds or whatever, so that would indicate the athlete is almost ready to go. Judges down at the front table on their green AstroTurf style surface. Now that's a good chance to talk about a clock, isn't it? 6 minutes, that's all the athletes have to climb this route. Very rarely does time play a factor.
Sometimes it does, more so for Giant Kim.
That's what I was about to say, apart from Giant Kim.
But I think for everybody else, not really.
Yes, and the reason we're saying that, Giant Kim is notorious for climbing slowly.
Yeah.
And it is something she worked on. She's got better at it, for sure. But yeah, she occasionally just needs a bit of a motor. Look at that quick draw. Or fixed draw. Someone actually sent me an Instagram message telling me off for calling them quick draws because he was saying the quick draws are called quick draws because you put them on your harness and take them up. I'm not 100% convinced by that opinion on that one, but you can let me know back at home. Because I call them fixed draws? What do you think?
I think I use quick draws because I think fixed draws only maybe for competitions.
Yeah.
Because it's like fixed on the wall. So like quick draws when you're climbing outdoors, it can easily quick it up.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, I asked him. I messaged him back saying, well, what shall I call them? But he hasn't responded yet, so we'll see. All right. Well, it's a beautiful wall as well. That pattern. It's like a snake. Here we go. Sukma walks onto the stage. She swaps bouldering mentality for lead mentality. Harness on, rope attached. Belayer, whose job it is to keep her safe. And we get to see a bit of this route. So should be quite, we hope, a good introduction because the first scoring zone is pretty high up.
Yeah.
That's the draws I was talking about. And the other belayer there with his hands up in the air, he's just spotting her in case she slips to help protect her. And now he will back away, and it's all down to Sukma now. And it's an intense place to be out there by yourself, isn't it? So a little bump up to make the first draw, drops back down. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about, because the athletes are in boulder shape, they also have to be in lead shape. It must be hard to train your athletes, for example, to do both disciplines.
Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, climbing is just movement, be it on the boulder or on the lead wall. It is for lead wall now, also because most lead comps now, they involve a lot more bouldering moves. So it's just like boulders back to back to back to back.
Okay. And a lot of athletes train on a spray wall, which is a boulder wall just covered in holds, and they do circuits on that. Well, the scoreboard now actually is on screen, which is brilliant, so we'll now be able to live see what's going on, we hope, and you can see her score. So the lead score is added to her boulder score. The boulder score is the white writing on the left-hand side, so she currently had 4.5 from boulder, which was low scoring, and now she's into the scoring zone, and you'll see the second number start to tick over, and the yellow number is her total score. Big support from the crowd, getting behind their athlete. Good climbing so far, steady and calm.
Yeah, so far quite smooth climbing from her.
And those holds are dual texture. You can see it shining in the light. The bit that's shining has no texture on it. Hard to stand on, and deliberately. And you're a setter yourself, so you know.
I love using those. Forcing people to step on them.
Which is cruel. All setters are sadists, so I've discovered this. We missed there. We've got Safwan here in the commentary box with a Malaysian coach, route setter, and we're watching Sukma here cut loose high up as she nears the 30-point scoring zone. It's hard to tell sometimes unless we kick the camera angle back, but she's about halfway up this wall.
She's about halfway up the wall.
Rests well, looking composed. Swapping arms on those crimps. Rotating back and forth. I think she knows the intensity is going to step up a bit here. A blocked crimp for the left hand. Gets herself set now. It's going to require a big bump up to that crimp. And she could be...
There's a jib on that flat hole also. If she gets her left hand on it, that yellow jib.
Yeah, you're right. She's missed it, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. So currently, yeah, you can just see on that black hole, there's a little yellow dot. That's a jib, and that will offer a little bit more grip for her if she can see it. And there's a possibility she didn't spot it.
Yeah, I think so. It's quite hard to see it from where she is now.
And the problem is it's putting her body position in all types of weird places.
Yeah, because I think without it, it's quite bad to hold. Even though with the bump, but at least it helps you get into a better position to bump.
Yeah, I think you're right. So, Lin Tang's comp is done. It won't be an Olympic ticket for her, but she will be proud of herself. And I tell you what, Team Indonesia, what results they're having currently. We know about the speed clean. We'll talk about them tomorrow. But for Boulder and lead, it's impressive at the moment.
Yes. Plus, I think it's an honor for them to be in finals at such a big event in their home ground as well.
I agree with you. It's so much excitement. The whole team gathered in front of the commentary box last night when the two athletes got in, and they were just screaming. That's the only way to describe it, in excitement. Okay, well, Sukma is done. Jilulo is out next. She had a fantastic start to the Boulder comp, really stamped her authority on that. And she's way up there on the leaderboard, 64.2 from Boulder.
Yeah, I think how far she gets up on this route will set the pace for everybody else.
Yeah, you're completely right.
This one will be quite interesting to watch.
Yeah, this is it. And you can see her there in the red behind that curtain, just waiting. And there was a moment where I thought she might run away with this competition, but she was reeled in by the Japanese team.
Yeah.
They didn't let her go that easily. But if she has a good lead performance here, she could potentially be our winner. And that face, she's kept it on through the whole comp. I've seen one nod from her, and that's about it in terms of celebration.
It's a bit similar to Aimori, where it's like very poker face the entire time, super focused, just focused on the climbing.
Yeah, it's definitely a tactic. She will, for sure. I mean, if she wins it, we're going to see some smiles going on.
Hopefully.
So here we go. Jilulo, for the final time, will pull off the ground onto the wall as she makes her pay for this Olympic place. Climbing quickly and smoothly through the bottom. Yeah, very quick through the opening sequence. You would have spotted it's fairly easy going. And now she's into the points. So before this, if she had fallen, she wouldn't have got any points. Now the points will start to stack up. 1 point per hold for this first section, 2 for the next, 3 after that, and then 4 as we get towards the top. And as you can see already, she moves up to the leaderboard because of her Boulder position. And now the score starts to tick over. And a clever little knee bar in there.
Yeah, but I don't think it's very comfortable at all.
No. The athletes really do sacrifice skin, don't they?
Yeah.
They get battered and bruised. Ooh, a bit of a slappy move there. And this is where, you know, you start to remember this is day 3 of climbing. It's hot, skin is not good. And you've just done a hard boulder round, so it changes the dynamic of the whole route here. And the crowd, I don't think I've ever heard an Indonesian crowd this quiet. It's not that they're not focusing. Everyone I'm looking at is just staring upwards at this wall. You know, even the people walking around, they keep bumping into things because they're just focused on what's going on. It's incredible. Right, makes the bump. This is where Sukma started to have some problems. Gets that long draw clipped. She'll take a second here to pause. They're quite positive crimps, these. Especially that yellow one.
Yeah, the yellow one looks more in cut compared to the black one.
And the black is fairly flat, which is not what you want ideally. Doesn't rest that long though, which to me would imply that she's pressing on. It hits the jib.
She's holding the jib, yeah. See, that little bit makes the bump a lot easier.
Yeah, the difference is crazy, isn't it, between the two? But now Jilu is starting to fight. Hits the blocked crimp. 106.2 is her total score.
that's quite amazing to watch. Her left hand is holding the crimp where it's being blocked as well, which means it's fairly small, the crimp she's holding on to.
The setter in you hates that,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
yeah. Like, you're not supposed to block, to like be able to hold that.
Well, she's done the impossible then, but she nearly fell then, matching, wraps all of the skin possible around that great big bulbous hold on the wall. Looks like a nose sticking out. Oh, she's in trouble and she falls. 1-2-1.2. If I was a gambling man, I'd say that wasn't enough.
Hard to say.
It's hard, isn't it?
Very hard to say.
Oh, we shall see. I mean, Jilu had such a good Boulder round. Oh, it could be. I mean, you just don't know. We've got some very good lead climbers coming up.
Well, thank you,
So
Roy.
this is where she fell, hitting the 60. It would have been big points after that, just before the head wall. And there was a little bit of a shake of the head. She's not convinced, but we shall see. Well, the athletes sitting on, there's athletes and coaches down at the front there. There's a media area, just to give you an idea, walking around. That's the football pitch. That's where the whistles, if you heard them on the screen, are coming from. And I tell you what, Indonesian football, or soccer, if you're listening from America, is brutal. I was watching a game. I caught some the other day. It was
Like very physical. is
fully
it?
aggressive, yeah. Don't know if that's a common thing. But yeah, this is really in the center of lots of different sports. Jilu will enter the stage and re-sit on those white chairs. They've been placed there because from now on, the athletes can, of course, watch the action because they can't learn anything from the competitors.
There we go. We got Giant Kim coming up. This should be good.
Yeah, this is massive for Zhang Kim. She needs a big score here. And she'll know that. She'll know she's been in this position so many times. She won gold this year on a comeback year to IFSC comp climbing. She retired, had her baby daughter, came back, and in Vilas, I asked her about that. I said, why did you come back? And she told me, I wanted to make my daughter proud of me again. And you know what? Zhang Kim, you've more than done that. So fingers crossed, everyone. Let's see what she can do as she enters the easier part of this route. It just needs to not overgrip at this stage.
Yeah.
Kim Jaya has very strong record in lead category. Will he manage up?
So with the drop knee in, she reaches above her head, twists and turns. If I was a coach like you are, I'd use Zhang Kim videos to sort of instruct my young athletes of how to climb. She's got so much flow.
Correct. Correct. She moves so effortlessly, similar to like Serato also on the men's side.
Is that something you can teach? Do you try to tell your athletes that, or is it just instinctive?
You can try to teach that, but it also requires a large amount of power for them to make it look so effortless.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. And look at the little knee bar scrub again. Yeah, no knee pads. In outdoor climbing, we have knee pads you can wear, but not allowed in IFSC comps. She kept it in for a long time, making that move as well. Hits the pinch with the right hand. Clip above her head. Just sits down on that toe, up towards the 10.
Very high to hook.
Now, if she is allowed to touch the quick draw like that, you can kick it, hit it, whatever you want, but you cannot weight it. You can't use it as aid to get up the route.
So to explain why some athletes do that is to see whether it's within clipping distance.
Yeah, sometimes you need it to swing to kind of bring it back into your reach.
Yep.
Keep an eye on the scoreboard on the left. She was low down, but now she's starting to move up. She only got 28.5 in the Boulder round, which has left her a lot to do when you consider the leader had 64.2. So Zhang Kim will basically have to do what Zhang Kim does best. It's as simple as.
Pacing herself well, still looking strong as she enters the
As expected, cruising through as we hit the 30-point scoring zone. This is where the power needs to be turned on for Jain Kim. What can she do? Shakes out that right hand. Stretching backwards in order to stretch that forearm out. Left toe pressing, right toe as well, really engaged. She's missed the jib. Maybe she doesn't need it, maybe she hasn't seen it. Definitely makes that move harder though.
Yeah, but I think she's strong enough, have plenty more in the tank, so maybe she doesn't need it. But I think she'll step on it exactly.
Yeah, she knew it was there, decided not to use it. Up onto the blocked hold. Those two black holds stacked to prevent heel hooks usually.
Yep, and also prevent like mashing on them as well.
Here we go. This is where Zhu Lulo started to have to fight. Jain Kim looking more composed. But that sloper, I can imagine the skin sliding down that yellow hold. Out towards the 60. This is where the big points start to come in now.
Great move there by Kim Jae-in.
Shake out of the hand and she hits the pocket.
Very strong and lead. Wow.
Now moves to second place, still quite a way behind Zhu Lulo. And this is where that boulder really starts to show its teeth, because a bad round means you have to climb so much higher.
And still making good time.
There's a pinch awaiting her as she nears the head wall. That is the last section of wall above her, where it hits into 25 degrees. I mean, look at that. That's where she has to get just to get into preliminary first position.
It's already like almost at the last already.
I think she's struggling here a little bit, maybe getting a bit tired.
We're going to need your energy. Show your support for our athletes.
Jain Kim is going to have to find something on this head wall. She misses it and fell. And suddenly the crowd drop into silence because Jain Kim has not done enough today to get that ticket.
Our representative from Korea.
Thank you once again to Kim Jae-in.
It's impossible not to get emotionally invested in what you watch when you watch climbing. And that moment where she stood at the front of the stage said more than my words ever could. That was a moment of heartbreak there for Jain Kim. Let's see some of her moments again. Down low on the pink volumes. Good toe hook. And that was the fall. Down to the ground. And this was the moment where she just... Yeah. Well, she finishes today's comp and she will have more chances in the future. But for right now, you've got to feel for her up there. She did so well, just gave herself a little too much to do on that lead wall after the boulder round.
Yep. But I think for lead just now, she gave it everything she had.
Yeah, she emptied that tank, didn't she? Well, Jain Kim, it's not going to be today, but good performance. She puts those flip-flops on, and now we see a smile. She's composed herself, and she says goodbye to the crowd who were behind her all the way, and fist bumps and hugs, which is lovely to see. They are, of course, competitors, but at the end of the day, it's you against the wall.
Yep.
We're almost at the halfway mark here in the lead climb for the women's finalists.
I wanted to stay quiet then in case we could pick up their conversation on the mic, but I didn't hear it. Okay, we move on to No Hakume. With a little smile on her face, jogs out.
Please make some noise for No Hakume.
Safwan, you were, the Malaysian team came to see you just now. Are they enjoying this final?
Yeah, they enjoyed this final as well.
Safwan is the Malaysian coach. He'd usually be with them. He's with me here today. And we're watching the No Hakume, who has more than enough potential to get high up on this wall. And talk to me a bit about over-gripping, because it's something I casually said earlier on. Just explain how that can mess you up.
Okay, so usually you tend to overgrip when you're slightly scared. So what that means, okay, let's say when she's holding on the black flag hold with the number 1, so let's say she putting force at maybe like 50% power only, but if she holds it at 100% power, she's wasting her energy fuel tank for later onwards. So you don't want to waste all your energy at the bottom. So you want to like use just enough to go past to the next hole.
And it's quite a common beginner's mistake, isn't it? So what can people listening to this who don't want to overgrip, what's a good tactic to prevent that?
You need to be more comfortable on the lead wall, actually. Practice falling, and in order to like not overgrip as well, you need to increase your endurance itself. So do more circuits on like a span wall, or just be comfortable on lead.
There you go. Thank you very much. Pro tips here. Now she's nearing the end of the purple section now, which indicates about a third of the way up our wall. There's a breeze that's rustling through the stadium now. The trees are shaking. It hasn't brought a huge amount of relief, but it is a little bit cooler. Bumps that left hand up, reaches through, and she'll clip the quick draw low. Some quick draws, or fixed draws, whatever you want to call them, are longer to prevent rope drag.
Making good time on their final climb so
amongst
far.
other things as well. And bolt covers, so good to see them on the wall.
Yeah. I think that whoever invented that was a genius.
Yeah, because if an athlete stands on a bolt that's there, the bolts are what the draws are attached to, then they do get penalised for that. And bolt covers protect that. The athletes can stand on it, but it has no texture.
Yeah, it's super slippery.
As a setter, when are we going to start seeing bolt covers as footholds? Is that coming in the future?
Actually, if you notice, some athletes are comfortable stepping on the bolt covers actually, because they've trained enough stepping on like no texture holes. So even for them, instead of smearing the wall, they would rather step on the no texture bolt covers, which is quite funny.
Yeah, setters beware, or athletes beware more to the point. Setters have got devious ideas.
Let's give some
Nanoha
support to
Kume
Nanoha.
is starting this
Nanoha!
physical part of the route now.
Ale!
She's currently in third, 64.9 is her score. She's still a long way behind Jean Kim and Ji Lulu. Matches, and for the first time we see her hesitate here. Just got that block crimp.
Yeah, I think it was hard for her to release the toe hook for the right leg just now.
All right, well, she's up onto the block crimp, second of the block crimps. Now hits the last of the crimps before this big wraparound move.
Nice.
So far, she looks quite relaxed actually.
Yeah, she seems calm, doesn't she? I think she, perhaps a little nervous down low, but seems to have climbed herself into it, settled down a bit.
Yep, I think like the bottom part, like early nervous, like slight jitters, but then as you go up, you get a bit more confident with the movements.
Oh, but that's an awkward looking heel hook, but she gets it in eventually.
Like as soon as I said that, she climbed a bit awkwardly as well.
Welcome to the commentary box, my friend. Welcome. This is what it's like. The fate of athletes are in your hands, / voice.
Different strategies and execution.
Well, she's getting lots of encouragement from that Japanese team who are, you can hear them there on the screen, encouraging her on. She's getting closer and closer, now an 83.1 is her total score. That hold created by the two volumes pressed together.
She has to really commit for this move. There we go.
What a great reach there. No,
Yeah, she's into it. All right. Oh, no, she falls
grip there.
just when I thought she was settling.
Just over
I'll have to see a replay of that. But
The slight bump wasn't enough, like her hand just slipped.
oh,
one of the 3 representatives for Japan.
wow, suddenly
here in
Ji
the
Lulu,
final round.
halfway through this comp, is still in first position.
And women's category,
She'll
Japan.
stay calm, of course, a long way to go, but that was a bit of a surprise for Nanoha Kume. It won't be an Olympic ticket for her. Let's see it again. This was down low before the first scoring zone. Cross through on the black
And we can
volumes.
see the replay
And then
of
those
Nanoha
yellow
Kume-san.
jibs on the black, holds up high. Started to hesitate there. This wrap was interesting.
Different strategies
I'm
being
surprised she didn't
deployed
rest
by our
longer.
finalists here.
Wow, arigatou gozaimasu,
Hopefully we'll see the fall here, but I just want to see what popped. It's so hard in the moment to spot legs and arms. Let's have a look, if we can, about where this fall was. So she had the hand.
Right, yeah, the bump.
Ah, the bump. Could, I think, fatigue more than anything, maybe.
Could be. Could be slight sweaty hands.
It's deep breaths for her. All the athletes breathing hard. Jane Kim is just scrunched up on that seat. Wow, this is our current leaderboard. Ji Lulo leads away, 1-2, 1.3. Jane Kim second, 108. Remember, we're only really looking for our first, our gold medalist. Of course, we are giving, I presume we're giving medals away for the other two, but really, today, it's all about gold. So Ji Lulo is the one to watch, 1-2, 1.3. Big names coming out next. Yutong Zhang could make a play. She had a great bowl around 54.2. And Shen So, maybe the best lead specialist left in this group.
Yep, I think so.
She'll be coming out very soon. So keep watching if you're joining us. This has been... And in fact, we are just having a little bit of a break now. So it gives us a pause and a moment to chat about other relating things. I want to know more about Malaysian climbing, because I've never been. Tell me about the gyms. What are they like?
Our climbing is not as developed compared to like Indonesia or even neighboring countries like Singapore or Thailand. Okay, let's compare to Singapore. Singapore has like over 40 gyms. So like in Malaysia, in like near KL, which is a city center, the capital, we have at the moment 11 gyms. And is not as developed as other countries within the Southeast Asia regions, but we are trying to develop, we are trying to catch up basically.
And that development can be difficult because every nation has a different funding system. Some are better funded than others.
Yep.
Malaysia, you know, are you guys struggling to get to competitions? Is it a bit of an uphill battle?
Actually, for any competitions, all of us are self-funded. Yeah.
Wow, so it really is.
Yes.
It's hard to get there. And that as well, you know, because we see lots of athletes come to, for example, in Innsbruck, there's that amazing facility. It's hard, isn't it, when you don't have necessarily the funding to use facilities like that?
Correct, correct.
So what's next for Malaysian climbing then? If we look positive into the future, where are you hoping the team is going to get to in a couple of years?
I hope more gyms pop up, a lot more effort and is put into like gyms buying new holes, putting more investment into the route setting itself as well. Because like for the athletes to grow, we need to develop the route setting people, because they're the ones putting out the problems, the challenges for the athletes to try in the gym. Not just for like commercial gym, but even like the harder problems in the commercial gyms for athletes to train on. We need to increase the level of route setters basically, which what I've been doing for like the past few years actually.
Yeah, because you are a setter yourself. You work as that as well as a coach. And in terms of holds, because holds can sometimes be quite hard to get hold of, no pun intended.
I think it's also because to do with our currency. So the Malaysian ringgit is not that strong, let's say compared to like US dollar. So like for us to shell out a certain amount, so for let's say like a flat hole, it's a lot more on our end.
Yeah, well, challenges for sure, and it's good to hear about them, I think. And I think it's really nice to have someone from the Malaysian team in just to explain it, because I think it's easy to watch on TV and sort of have an opinion of athletes, and you know, group them into one great big lump.
Yeah,
when in reality, there's individual
Correct.
teams.
So like everybody, I think each country is on their own path of development. Each one is at different stages, but I think everybody is trying to reach that highest level where like Japan, Korea, China is at as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. We are very close to getting started, and if you're just joining us, welcome to Jakarta. It's coming up to 12:46 here in the capital of Indonesia. It's been hot, it's been sweaty, it's been incredible. My name is Matt Green. I'm joined by Safwan here in the commentary box, and we are watching the final four athletes to enter the stage. Currently, Jalulo leading the way. Can this lady do something about that? Second Chinese athlete in this final, Yutong Zhang. And there take a moment if you're watching this. That's the about halfway up the wall, so you get an idea, black to purple and then to black and yellow, so you can work out where the athletes are orientated. 6 minutes on the clock. And a huge moment. She takes her time, as she should, as she walks forward towards the wall.
She's actually in good contention for goal also, actually. If she gets quite high on this, it will put her in very, very good position.
Yeah, she had a great boulder round. It's mad to think, isn't it, that when an athlete next touches the floor, they could potentially be a future Olympian.
Yeah.
It's crazy. There's going to be a red carpet down there for them. All right, well, quick and smooth through the bottom. Puts that right foot out, makes the clips. Get into that first scoring zone. From here on, points start to rack up. Getting support from the kids and people watching in the crowd. You can hear the individual voices. Another one to see that knee bar.
Yeah, I think even though it's not really comfortable, but it's like safe enough for you to rest a little bit, to clip.
Yeah, for sure. Just takes a little bit off the arms, doesn't it? And also, yeah, that clipping position means you can put the draw over your leg.
Yeah.
That's always nice. Oh, look at that. Double heel. I don't even know what to call that move. It's like a double knee scum dumb turn heel move. I'd never have the flexibility in my life to be able to pull it off style. Okay, nearing the 10-point zone now. How much has Yun Zhang got in the tank? That's really the question at this stage.
Because I think she's just trying to minimize energy, because the camera cannot really tell, but now it's getting to the steepest part of the wall, actually.
Yeah, have a look at ponytails if you're at home and the drawers hanging down. That's the angle. If it was flat, obviously they'd be flat on the wall. So it just shows you. Locks in that right heel. A little micro shake out. She does a double bump. Now, as every athlete before her, it's pretty easy. And look, that's an example, because she had that better boulder round. She doesn't need to climb as far. But it's preliminary. It's not guaranteed if she gets there. It depends on the others as well. Seems to be really the best route, rest on the route.
Yeah, yeah. And she's resting quite a lot, which means she has plenty in the tank, I think.
Crosses through, calm and composed. She traverses all the way to the left, hits the jib. Maybe it doesn't make it easier. You know, we've only seen one really use it.
Yeah.
But now she
Maybe
is.
it's more meant as a full hole for later.
Yes. Yeah, true. Again, the heels. Zhang is really battling here. And you can see a little bit more hurried, snatched with her movements. We'll want to be finding the rest. There is a potential high heel hook coming up. And there is Hakume watching.
Still on a good way.
Oh, Campus is over. She's clearly got some energy left. And you can do that, remember, you can grab the draw, clip it into the rope, or you can do that method, clip the rope into the draw. Well, this will move her in a minute into preliminary first position, which means that Ji Lulo will be pushed down out of the top spot.
She's like resting on every single hole, actually.
Yeah, she is, but look at that, that's confirmation of it. So Ji Lulo will not be taking that Olympic ticket. Yu Zhang might. She rests in the pocket, comes into the pinch. Of course, she doesn't know that's the position she needs to get to, but we do at home. It's the privilege of watching it on TV. Big drop knee in order to come up into that hold created by the two volumes. Now this is where Nanaka slipped. She hits it first time. I think there's a jib there somewhere. Big bump up. This is a great performance from her.
Amazing climbing. I think she needs to clip though.
Oh yeah, true. She hasn't clipped it. She's just going for the points. Oh no, she's not. Forget what I said.
She just proved me wrong.
There we go. Sometimes an athlete will do that when they're too pumped to clip. She clearly wasn't. Oh, and then falls.
But that's good contention for the ticket.
That really is. 138 point something. I didn't see it, but wow. With only a minute to go as well. She timed that well. And that is our current leader. Things change again. 3 to go now. Seon So, Miho Nanaka, Futaba Ito. They will try to knock Yu Tong Zhang off the top spot. It was a good run from her. No drama, really.
Yeah, I think she climbed very safe the entire way. Like, very smart climbing. Like, a bit similar to Aimori. Like, they don't really waste any energy. Like, use their legs, like, everywhere. Like, literally everywhere.
Yeah, it's a good observation. You're right. It's a similar kind of style, isn't it? You get some lead climbers who are almost bouldery in the way they approach it. You know, cutting loose, swinging around. Jan Kim was a hug, fist bumps, and then this is going to be a moment that she greets her teammate, or maybe she already did because...
I think maybe it was off camera.
Yeah, I think it was because she's down at the other end.
Yeah.
There is Lena in the background taking those shots. Judges in the background. And honestly, the lenses and eyes of the world are upon those athletes. It's so intense. I mean, if I was them, and I mean, Gilles Law, for example, I would just want to leave. I'd want to go to the nearest bar and have some time off, bar or beach. But they have to watch, and we're going to watch Seon So walk onto the stage. This is a lady who has so much endurance.
Yes. And this is definitely her thing to shine now.
And it's a moment. Look how beautiful that arena is, the trees surrounding it. Don't expect any dramas from Seon So down low. She's just going to be trying to keep some energy. Seon So starts things off. You see a shot from the athlete's perspective. They get to sit. They can't obviously shout up a beater at her. They can shout encouragement. They can't be telling the athlete what to do, and nor would they. I mean, it is the direct competitor, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're taking the whole nice climbing thing to the next level, that one. All right, clips are in early on. No drama so far. Wraps that thumb around. Easily in through the blacks into the pinks now. That bit of distortion you can hear isn't coming from us. It's somewhere in the stadium. I think it might have been the DJ trying to ramp things up here, but the crowd is doing that enough. Really tense atmosphere right now. It's not the loudest crowd I've ever heard, but it is one of the most focused for sure.
Yeah, I think everyone's just like on the edge, like watching carefully what's happening right now.
I certainly am. That's a high point for first. In fact, it's out of his shot. It's got to go a long way, but we know she can do this. She's done it before. 4:24 on the clock. She'll want to pace herself through this section. Gets the toe in, up to the first of the jibs on that big yellow volume and makes the bump. Big cut loose, but she's fully committed to that move. Sitting on that jib, right foot on nothing. And that's the bolt hold we were talking about. You can see the bolt, the metal bit underneath that covering. Drops down. Good climbing so far. This is the first of the big moves though. Trust that left foot, commit, and she does. She hits the jib. A little shake in the legs, showing just how much effort she's putting into this. Into fifth now. out towards the sloper. Matches. Cuts loose again, just a little flick of the legs in order to get her into the correct position.
She's being like extra calculative with every single move.
Yeah, you can see her brain almost thinking through the sequences. There's the first of the pockets, buries the fingers in it. Leaderboard, she's currently sitting in fourth, 108.3, aiming for 142.3 total score. She rests, has a look at the clock. And yeah, see, that's kind of the position I was expecting some of the others to use, but not all of them used it quite in the same way.
Yep, I think the one that rested the longest so far there was Yu Tong Zhang. She like heel and toe, which is exactly what Che Hyun Seo is doing right now.
Yeah.
So like stay rested there for as long as they can before going for the next section.
Yeah, and she's got 2 minutes on the clock to do the head wall. She's basically got to top the route for first. That's what that graphic is showing. So
Of course, once again, we're always going to need
it is a big ask, of course.
But knowing her, it is a possibility.
Yes, exactly. It's real, if that makes sense. Here we go again. That was the move Nanoha fell on. There's a jib and there somewhere. She's hits the crimp. So far, so solid for her.
She's clipping now.
Oh, and she falls! Oh, huge moment. We were so intently watching it, and it won't be the win for her tonight.
big round of applause once again.
And she knows the crowd reaction alone will tell her she doesn't even need to look at the leaderboard. This is just brutal, this lead round. Looks back up at what could have been, and we know that she gets emotional, and I think that the emotion is going to flow after this. Let's watch it again. She was on the 60s. She had that good wrap, heel on, and then fell. I don't really know what happened in that moment.
I think what happened there, she thought she can maintain her left foot and hit the hole. Whereas like Yu Tong Zhang, she fully commit, jump, catch the next hole, but kick the next full hole as well.
Well, maybe a route reading error, but she leaves and she does smile straight to Zhang Kim, as you'd expect, and those two support each other through these World Cups, through the circuit. And Yu Tong Zhang, the briefest of hugs, which is fair enough. It's not going to be for the Korean athletes tonight, or this afternoon, but it might be for everyone else. And look at the two of them together, just discussing it. That is quite a good symbol of where Korean climbing is going, isn't it? It's a lovely moment. All right, well, we turn our attention to Miho Nanaka, who could also take a win here. We saw her with an amazing comeback in Boulder. Can she do something special on this lead route? In 6 minutes, we'll know. Miho Nanaka shaking the arms, cooling herself down on the stage.
Level 1 of course favorite Miho Nanaka. Wow.
Yes, indeed, one of the favorites throughout the week. And also with some very strong Boulder.
So Miho Nanaka looks up. She's ready to go. Approaches.
And now trying to ride that wave as she begins her climb. 6 minutes on the clock.
Off she goes. The 6 minutes starts to count down here. Makes the clip. Rotates the feet through. Quick climbing from Miho. I'd expect this from her, this style.
Yeah, she's not one that likes to rest like the other lead climbers.
Nah, she just goes.
She just moves it. Like quite similar to Tomoa on the lead as well.
Yes.
He just keeps it moving.
Yeah, you're right. Similar style between the two of them. Well, she needs a heck of a performance here. 64.9, though, was a good Boulder round. She pulled that back. It's going to leave her less work to do out here, but she still needs to put in a good performance to get this one. Makes the clips. What's her level going to be here? It's like finding it out, as long as you guys back at home, as we work out where she's at in terms of skin, fatigue. And now she rests, wraps that arm around. First of the rest. She doesn't hang around for too long, though, as expected. Cracks in the heel, makes the clips. Big move up towards the 10, and now she'll shake out. Another good position she's found there to rest.
Yep, yep.
Here we go again. Crosses through into those yellow, fairly good holds in the middle of those dishes. Thumb pressing, reaches through, adjusts the feet in order to lean down and make that clip. And that right foot on the no-tex, you said the comfortableness of the athletes they're used to standing on it.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't want to. That's the first position, so just above the blue volume. That will bump Yu Tong Zhang out of the top spot.
Previous rounds as well. 26-year-old out of Tokyo, Japan. With several top 10 and top 5 finishes to her name already so
Shaking
far.
out, resting, milking this moment. She would instinctively know. She would have spotted the rest, of course, but feeling those holds, she'll be aware that that's a good place to stop.
Yep.
And Boulder down.
And she's calm there, horizontal on the wall. There's fifth spot coming up, which will be entirely uninteresting for her. Not which she'll note. There's no real-life graphic on that wall. It's just for us at home. Up she goes, hits the first of the blocked holds. What's Miho got now for this power section?
Third checkpoint, 57 points.
Out towards the jib, gets the toe hook in, shakes and rests in that position. Just briefly to chalk up, and then puts the heel in.
Dan ada titik di mana dia bisa mencapai 80 poin juga.
She's really fighting now. Can see her body shaking a little bit.
Bisa mendapatkan full 100 poin.
Here she goes again. That's the rest coming. The right hand hits it. To be able to wrap that heel around.
She's definitely fighting for it now.
Trying to power her way through.
$60 points now, so 4 points for every hold from now on. The scores will start to jump up.
You have her now.
That's where she needs to get to for first, with 2 athletes to go. Miho into the pockets. She's nearing this top spot now. Couple of moves to go. Comes out, stands up now, into the crimp, but she falls, and that's going to be below the leading point. Miho Nanaka has slugged, she has gone. Yu Tong Zhang stays in the top spot. And for Miho Nanaka, she gave it everything, but it wasn't enough tonight.
Yeah.
Miho falling just before that top spot. And she, like many before her, turn and look at that wall. And she will take a long moment before turning back. Miho, again, a little...
Thank you once again, Miho.
Yu Tong Zhang, though, is still on that top spot. If you are Team China, you are going to be jumping up and down right now because that athlete is on the top spot with 1 to go.
Yeah.
Unreal. Hugs all round, of course, but Yu Tong Zhang, suddenly, look at that smile on her face. Let's see this again from Miho. It was good down low. Made the bumps up. This is what she was standing on for the feet. And then let's see what happened. She was standing, just the left foot seemed to go.
Then she just gassed out.
Oh.
Because when she got to the yellow, like no sloper, I can see she was like really, really struggling and fully fighting for it already.
Yeah, it was a battle there, wasn't it? Well, Yu Tong Zhang, my goodness me. She is still in that position. 1 to go. Can Futaba Ito make any difference to this podium? It's huge. We can see the kids walking around the stadium. Futaba strides onto the stage. The last athlete out for this women's final, the only one who can make a difference.
Wow, Futaba Ito fans is really good.
My camera crews protected themselves from this heat. Towels on, all lenses, all eyes on Futaba Ito. Meanwhile, Yutong Zhang will be sitting there as nervous as she can get. Next to me, you've got a Futaba flag.
Yeah, I did. So Choco gave me the Go Futaba flag.
Amazing. Well, look,
I'm not supposed to take sides, but
Of course.
fully supporting her for this last round right now.
Well, if anyone wants to see that, that will be on my Instagram, so you can see what we keep talking about in terms of that flag. Here we go. Futaba Ito, the final athlete, our last chance to watch this wall, the only one who can make a difference to this podium.
The
other athletes watching, nervously watching.
I think for her to win, she needs to get slightly higher than Yutong.
Yeah, it's a big one, isn't it, for Futaba? Whoever's screaming next to a microphone there is very, very loud. Well, 142.3 is what she has to beat. Who is going to take this? It's between just two athletes. All of this qualifying semi-finals to this moment.
Super intense, this finals.
Unreal. Here we go again, wrapping her hands around. She's done with the blacks. Forget about them. Into the pink section. Ooh, a little bit of a maneuver around the rope. You get to this stage and I start getting nervous about any movement that happens. You know, you start sort of misreading it. And Shauna Coxey always tells me in the commentary box that she finds it far less stressful out there climbing than it is watching. And it's true, because you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, plus you don't know how the previous athletes have gone also.
Yes. So for Futaba, she just needs to find her flow, stay in the zone. Up she goes, into the yellow holds. Shaking out between almost every single hold, trying to get rid of that pump. Bumps up, nearing the first of the rest. This is an opportunity for her to shake out.
She's taking every opportunity to rest as much as she can.
Yeah, she knows how far she's got to get on this route, or she'll have an idea, certainly. Won't know the exact position, but she'll know it needs to be a high one. She's resting on the worst of those crimps. Now finds the right, and that is a good shot of the crimp. Yellow one, a bit more in cut, as we discussed. Not resting long, though. Maybe decided she just needs to go through this section. That is first. It's the same place as Miho, basically.
Oh, interesting.
All right, up with the left hand. I'm trying to overanalyze this. I'm looking if she's tired. And Yutong Zhang will be sitting down there. Oh, this is a big moment. Hits the slap. Yeah, if I was Yutong Zhang, oh my goodness, I can't imagine what she's going through. An Olympic ticket so close you can taste it. But I think Futaba is starting...
She's fighting right now. She's really fighting right now. Her body's shaking a little bit.
Look at her legs as well. That left leg, the bruises from the brutal rounds. She's fiddling with this clip. There it is. These climbers just give everything. And she's not comfortable yet in this position. And she still hasn't got the clip in. I couldn't see it underneath her body.
Yeah, I think the camera angle didn't show. Okay, there's clip now.
That's a big moment, and that might have cost her a little bit. Bit of a fumbled clip in the middle.
But I think here is a slightly better resting position.
With the higher feet on the hold.
High feet, yep. And I think the left pocket is considered good enough for them.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see, gets fingers into it. It is a bit slopey. Futaba moving through the ranks. She's now in third. It'll be a bronze medal guaranteed. She won't care about this. We're coming up to the business end of this.
It's going to be close.
A couple of moves away. Hits the right hand. She slips and falls. It's gone. And that is Yutong Zhang, who will take the Olympic place. Does she realize yet? Someone tell her, come on.
I don't think she realized yet.
She looks around.
She's like, what's going on?
Yeah, someone go and tell that lady she's just got an Olympic ticket. Well, we'll stick with Futaba. So we go back. Yeah, look at the confusion. I think she's realized it. Maybe she's just processing it.
I think she's like in a moment of disbelief.
Well, let's watch it. Yeah, I think it is pure disbelief.
Well, thank
It's,
you,
I just don't think she knows
Buta
what to do.
Like, what just happened also?
There, it starts to kick in. It was like delayed processing of that moment.
The medal ceremony coming up next.
Well, hang on.
Ikuti upacara penghormatan pemenang sesaat lagi seluruh penonton yang hadir
We are
di
waiting. Maybe not.
IMF
Hang on a sec. Let's just get an update on the scores. Maybe she didn't, because maybe that graphic. Hang on. Let me just check this, because we're dealing with the scores and the graphics that we have. I think she has. Yeah, it is confirmed. That's good. Just we had a little bit of issues with scoring, so I just had to make sure myself. Yu Tang Zhang will take that gold medal, that Olympic ticket. Unreal from her, and it slowly filtered into her psyche, I think.
Yeah, I think it was like slight delay to process everything. She didn't realize that she actually won.
Yes, exactly.
It's a bit like Alberto also during Olympics. Like, it took him a while to like fully digest, hey, actually, oh, I did win.
Yeah, I mean, look, now it's all hitting in. It's like a wave hitting her. Yu Tong Zhang is our next future Olympian. And for everyone else as well who competed in this final, congratulations. What performances from you. But this moment belongs to that lady, and she deserves every second of it. Had a brilliant Boulder round.
I think she's the first for Team China as well, for the combined format.
For the new, yes.
Yeah,
I see
for,
what you mean.
for Paris. I know they have one for speed, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
Yes, no, you're right in Bern, yeah.
But I think she's the first one for the combined format.
Wow. Well, what moments here. We watched some of those replays. It was good from Futaba. She came, I think when she watches that back, she would despair at how close she came. She's basically one hand movement away. If she had stuck that, didn't quite have the read.
That bad clip cost her quite a bit of energy.
I think you're right, yeah.
And maybe like it panicked her a little bit because she couldn't clip, and then she had to clip also.
Yes, I agree with you. I think that's exactly what happened. Well, as we near the end of the comp, Yu Tang Zhang confirmed, Miho Nanaka second, Futaba Ito third. That is our top three. And in a minute, Safran, we'll be saying goodbye to you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I don't think... Yeah, because I'm going to go and interview our winner in a moment. So there will be a little bit of a moment on air after the flower ceremony where you have a bit of silence. If you watch while I run down and interview Yu Tong Zhang, and the athletes now will have the flower ceremony, and then we will have the podiums after that.
See, now she's all smiles.
She is all smiles. Really stayed in her zone, didn't she? But it was big for her. As she says goodbye to the crowd. Huge moment from her. And we will wait for the flower ceremony and the podiums after that. Well, listen, I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. Safwan, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
We'll have a chat about whether you come back later on, but that's the confirmation. I'll talk to you soon, man. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Kita akan langsung ikuti upacara penghormatan pemenang yang akan dimulai sesaat lagi. Jadi boleh berteduh sedikit sambil nanti kita ikuti medal ceremony.
before this competition, I not think I can made it, and yeah, I don't know how to say now. It's too fast. Just yeah, and just now it's really exciting, surprise, and yeah, really it's like dream come true, and I really. I didn't think I can get something at this competition. Maybe the best is like get the podium, but the goal is like impossible. I feel because I have many strong girl and Korean and Japanese girl. Yeah, and also the China team have another girl is strong at Boulder, and yeah, it's really surprised. Yeah.
Well, look, you beat them all this afternoon. It was incredible. It started with the boulder round because the boulder you did so well on setting yourself up. How did you find those boulders?
At first boulder, after observation, I think the first is the most hardest one, and my weakness is the slab, so I just try to do my best. And also the second route is the jump. I'm not really good at that, but if I push hard, maybe I can do this. And yeah, the first route, when do observation, I just thinking the start is hard and how to get out is really strange. And when I arrive the pocket, and I think I try to get more points, like to the 10, and I just follow my mind and arrive the 10 is like push hard. I already push my heart, and I also have the injury before, like the wrist. So after that is make the wrist hard, but after is the best thing is after don't have the like sloper holes, and after this. I think I don't when do observation. I'm not sure how to get the blue, and I arrive there. I feel can directly arrive, and Tying give me some suggestions. Say can when I arrive the blue and can match and put the fit, and I do that, and it's like arrive, and I think arrive here I need push like 200 hard because. Arrive here is really hard, and if I can make this route, is like good start. And also, I know this route is hard. Yeah.
Well, look, incredible to do as well as you did with a wrist injury. None of us knew that. It's going to take a while for this to settle in. Enjoy the podium. Best of luck with the training. You are a future Olympian. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, there we go. Words from our winner. And I just walked past Jilu Lo as well, who was in floods of tears. Our heart goes out to all the athletes, of course. It's such a strange mixture, isn't it? Part of you is just heartbroken for most of the field. But for the winner, utter joy. And it's such a strange mixture of emotions. And we can see them there playing out on stage. That lead wall, it was a savage route eventually. Went from endurance into a cruxy section. competition that seemed to sap the strength of a lot of the athletes. Though they came close, it wasn't to be, and that's always the way. Only the winner takes that medal. And there is the Coke sponsor on the back of Miho's chalk bag, flicking her feet around and into those purple holds down low. That was where the endurance started to play. Not too hard though, before launching into this cruxy sequence, red and black holds. And Miho came close. That slap up if she had latched it. Well, I'll let you enjoy some of these moments, and I'll be back in a couple of seconds for that podium. Well, there we go. What moments from earlier on. It was truly dramatic. And of course, do remember that we are doing all this again this evening. But for now, it's podium time. And the athletes will file out into our arena. And you've got to feel for silver and bronze. In any other comp, they would be celebrating. But for this one especially, it just hits differently, doesn't it? I talked to Yutong Zhang, of course, in that interview, and you could still see the cogs turning in her head, processing that moment. Vice President of the IFSC, Kobe, there, going to give the tickets away. National dress in display, and the athletes underneath that speed wall. And do remember, the speed competition comes tomorrow on Sunday. Practice speed qualies, that's streamed as well, and of course the speed finals. But right now we finish things off for the women. And Futaba Ito and Miho Nanaka, they had to battle so hard. They came back, they gave themselves a fighting chance, but on the night, I keep saying night, on the afternoon, it belonged to Yutong Zhang. Bronze medal for Futaba Ito. She will build on that semi-final performance especially, which was stand out for her. What a way to finish her season with a performance like that. 99.7 during semi, so she will certainly gain some confidence. And the flag, by the way, the Futaba flag, I will put on my Instagram so you can check that out. Waving throughout the audience. Still bronze medal and a lovely looking trophy.
Congratulations to our bronze medalists. As next to present our silver medalist, also representing Japan.
And Miho Nanaka, well, she was a hand slap away from a gold. She will return, of course, to fight again. That lady cannot be downtrodden. She will return, of course. Next year, OQS Series is her chance. And Miho, such a good competitor. She will take that on the chin, of course. What happens privately, who knows how she will process this. But for now, there'll be one face for the cameras, but deep down, it's a big moment.
Boulder and lead category here at the IFSC Climbing Asian Qualifier Jakarta 2023, representing China.
And finally, your winner in Jakarta, your future Olympian, your gold medalist. What a performance from Yutong Zhang. The celebrations will go late into the night in China as she raises her hands high for that gold medal. We're catching someone on the microphone there, talking about how cool she is. She is indeed, isn't she?
Able to please rise for the playing of the Chinese national anthem.
Bapak Ibu hadirin sekalian, kami
Cik.
mohon berdiri untuk kumandang lagu
Cik.
kebangsaan
Cik.
Republik Rakyat Cina.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, there we go. The national anthem of China plays out across the stadium. Of course, we have not finished proceedings here in Jakarta. We've got loads of climbing left to come. Men's boulder comps and the lead side of things this evening. We finished fairly late here in Jakarta. A bit of a break now while the route setters will reset the wall for the boulder rounds. And then tomorrow, of course, speed. Oh, our winner there, Yutang Zhang. That'll take a while to sink in. It was an amazing process watching her being told and processing the emotions that she had to go through.
What a wonderful performance all weekend for our three medalists here in Jakarta.
Ya, selamat sekali lagi untuk seluruh pemenang. Congratulations to all the winners for Boulder Ready Women's category.
Thank you once again to...
All right, well, congratulations to all of our athletes. They will leave the stage.
A fantastic performance.
Yes, and also thank you to Mr. Kombinator.
Flowers held high.
And
And Miho for the first time there, a bit of a crack. But Yutong Zhang, congratulations. Well, we'll reset and come back very soon for the men's side of this competition. Boulder and lead once more. And again, we will be crowning a gold medalist and a future Olympian. Thank you for watching. I'll be back this evening. Goodbye, everyone.
疲れ様でした。2位で終わりましたが、今のお気持ちいかがですか？
今はとりあえず全部自分の残ってた、力をすべて出し切って終わることができたので、とりあえずはすっきりしています。
このなかなかボルダーからうまくいかないこともあったのかなと思いますが、決勝を振り返っていかがですか？
そうですね、この3日間で一番暑さを感じた日でもあって、かなり汗と手汗と滑る中で、コンディションの悪い中で戦うのがすごい難しくて、ボルダーはなかなか自分の流れを作ることが難しかったんですけど、でも後半一撃でまとめられてよかったと思います。
その悔しい部分も良かった部分もあると思いますが、この大会次にどのようにつなげていきたいですか？
いやすごくいい経験になったなというのは本当に心から思うので、この経験を生かして、さらに強くなって来年またもう一度臨みたいと思います。
改めてオリンピックのまだ枠残ってますが、次の、パリオリンピックに向けて、意気込みをお願いします。
今本当に試合終わったばかりですけど、もう気持ちの向いている先は次の予選です。なので、そこでしっかりと成績を残してパリに行けるように頑張りたいと思ってます。
ありがとうございました。
我々は聞けないんですか？ここ別に聞いちゃっていいんですか？
伊藤選手お疲れ様でした。3位で大会を終えましたが、今のお気持ちいかがですか？
そうですね、ここで優勝してオリンピックの切符取ることを目標にしていたので、今はすごく悔しい気持ちでいっぱいです。
最初なかなかボルダーでうまくいかないところもあったのかなと思ったんですが、第3、第4課題と調子も上がってきたように見えますが、今日の決勝振り返ってみてボルダーリードいかがですか？
そうですね、ボルダーまず1課題目からちょっとつまずいてしまって、でちょっとうまくいかなくて、で2課題目、もうランジ止めるのにすごい時間かかってしまって、そこで決めきれてたらだいぶポイントも差をつけられていて変わってきていたかなとも思いますし、リードもすごいやっぱり最後リードで勝負っていう感じだったので、行っていってすごい慎重になってしまってすごい張ってしまったので、なんかすごくいい登りができたかって言われると、そうじゃなかったので、やっぱそこがすごく悔しいです。
大会を通してみると予選、準決勝ともに1位で通過してで今回3位ということになりました。大会全体を通してどのように振り返りますか？
そうですね、予選、準決勝とすごくいい登りをできていた部分とかもたくさんあったので、すごい強くなっていることは実感できたんですけど、やっぱりこういう、最終日決めきるところで決めきることができなかったのはやっぱり自分の弱みだなと思うので、そういう部分を今後しっかり決めきれるようにしていきたいなと思います。
オリンピックの枠まだ残されていますが、この大会を次にどのようにつなげていきますか？
そうですね、まだちょっと今終わったばっかりで、どうしていきたいかとかはまだちょっと考えられないんですけど、とりあえず今日の反省をしっかりしてどうしていくべきか考えていきたいなと思います。
お疲れ様でした。